Well, my
Hi,
coffee's ready,
everybody.
so my coffee's ready, so that's good.
Yeah. Look, this is something
Just
y'all have
finished
never
that.
seen on stream before. This is called water. I discovered it
Ew,
this week.
water. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wadder?
water.
Water. Okay.
Yep.
Have you ever spent time in Florida?
Yes, I have.
My child grew up in Florida and says water with a D.
Oh,
Water,
hi,
water.
Jer. Jer said hi, lady.
D.
Okay. But yes, I crawled out of my hole to come say hi today. So hi, everybody.
I'm glad you made it because if you hadn't showed up, I would have probably canceled it. So I'm glad you're here. Okay. Hi, Mac and Jur and Greyheart and
Hey,
Ox.
Alex.
And I think I saw Rachel up there somewhere. Marie. Commander. And Dave.
Water.
Okay. I got everybody. And me. I'm in there too. But, here I
No.
am. So, Krabby. I'm so glad you're here. So, Krabby wants to know if you're
Crappy.
feeling better, Larry.
Do you want like the like small talk version or like the real talk version?
No, we're on a trans stream or my stream or whatever. We want you honesty. We want you to tell us the truth. What's going on?
I have lots of long-term health issues which are causing me lots of problems and I don't feel very good, but I'm like doing my best to like not die. So,
Champion through. Me
um
too, but mine's mental.
I have like both. So like I have an issue with chronic pain and like the chronic pain just sucks all the energy out of you.
Doesn't it
So it
though?
makes it hard to deal with the mental stuff because I just have like no fucking spoons left and I want to sleep for 30 hours, but I don't have time to
I
sleep for
just say
30 hours.
energy, but yeah, strength.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
it either.
But so like it's gonna be okay, but sometimes things are really shitty.
Oh, sorry, Krabby. She said, I hope you're feeling better. She wasn't asking how you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know now, damn it.
Yeah. It'll be okay.
Nice. Please don't die, either of you. No, actually, when I left my therapist today, because I'm losing my insurance soon since I don't have a job, which is perfect timing when you're in the middle of a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
So I got a hold of my therapist. I texted him over the weekend. I said, Mike, I want to see you sooner rather than later. And I'm going to lose my insurance and I want to get in as many visits as I can with you before that happens. And I have like 2.5 weeks because my last paycheck is this coming week. And then that's good for 2 weeks. And then that's it. I have no more insurance. Oh, which by the way, no top surgery. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine because that got canceled. That doesn't affect me at all. Dysphoria is absolutely okay to make worse in the middle of the mental health crisis.
Yep.
So I went to my therapist today and I was like, Mike, this is what's going on. And I cried and he said, tissues to your right. And I was like, thank you. And I grabbed one and kept crying and mopping up the tears. And I said, well, I don't even know why I'm mopping. I think there should be like some slits for rivulets to just go down by now. I'm sure I've worn it in my skin. So, and I said, and I'm upset because I said, I'm mad because of this. I'm mad because of that. I'm mad about my top surgery. I'm mad that I'm not going to be able to see you. And he goes, whoa, 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 wait. And I said, what? He said, no, I do pro bono work. No, he said,
that's excellent.
no. That's not what he said. I said that wrong. He said, what makes you think you can't see me? No, he said, why? And I said, why what? And he said, why couldn't you see me? And I said, because I'm not going to have insurance, Mike. I can't pay you out of pocket. I don't have any money. I don't even have any money saved up. I said, I have no money. I was just making $24,000 a year. Starvation level.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And he goes, no. He said, do you think I'm going to start talking to you and giving you tools and guiding you down a road and then just leaving you behind? And I said, Mike, I don't have insurance. He goes, Beck, I'm not going to abandon you. And when he said, I'm not going to abandon you because I have abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Which is always makes you feel good when people break up with me and then fire me a couple weeks later, because it really helps that. It's good. So, he said, I'm not going to abandon you. And I just put my head down and started bawling. Not like a little trickle, like I was bawling. Because that's exactly what I needed to hear at that moment. I didn't even know it. And I don't know if he did or not, but he said it. Yeah, no, he's awesome. I don't know who Build Her Gender is. I recognize that face from somewhere, though. You used to have a different name, didn't you? Build Her Gender. You had a different name, I believe. before, and I can't think of what it is. And if not, then someone
No
else has a very similar icon picture as you. Like,
Yeah.
it's your twin, and I'll go find them for you. Anyways, go ahead, Larry.
I was just gonna say this is one of those weird like universal symmetry moments because my therapist is also named Mike.
Is it?
And and
What's his last name?
Maximovich.
Never mind. Mine
Yeah,
starts
but
with D.
no, a similar thing happened to me when I got kicked off of HIP a couple of years ago because that's the state insurance through Indiana. I got kicked off because I was in a category where I was labeled medically frail, which means that I was capped at how many hours I was allowed to work per week in order to keep the state insurance. So I could only
Oh my God.
I could only work 17 hours a week.
You can
And
do
I was
something
literally,
like that?
huh? What?
Wait a minute. You can do stuff like that?
In Indiana, I don't know what the rules are where you are,
I didn't
but
even think of it.
Because my mental health condition was so severe, I was labeled as medically frail, and they instituted wage caps on me. But I got the state insurance and had access to like transportation programs and like other bullshit. But I couldn't live on that little money, so I had no choice but to work more. And so I got kicked out of the program. And he did kind of a similar thing where I was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna have HIP. I'm not gonna be able to pay you." And we had already been seeing each other for like a year at that point.
Like when you say that, it sounds like you're dating them.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
But he works on a sliding scale, and so he normally like his sessions are normally like $280 some per session, and I see him for like $70.
We're gonna have a therapist competition. Are you ready? This is why my mic's better.
Yeah.
My mic's even better because what the therapists do here is if they have someone they know that they can't pay for it, like pretty much everybody, because most people can't afford it.
Yeah.
But it pretty much, so for everybody they see here, they charge the insurance company, and whatever comes back, they just don't worry about it. They don't charge us anything. That's pretty incredible. Smaller, the guys not in the big businesses, they have to charge because the business wants their cut of that copay, right?
Yeah.
But the smaller guys around here that have their own practices, like Mike does, like he's in his garage next to his fucking cherry red fucking 2007 Corvette, like literally. Dude has a bunch of he's got a big piece of property. You know, he has fucking money and a vet and 2 other cars and a wife, and he pays for everything. So anyways, what was I going to say? So he said, no, it's not how we do it.
Yeah.
And I guess he meant around here. And I was like, what do you mean? How do you do it? And he goes, we don't, because I said, I went to leave the first day. I left and I came back next day, and I said, Mike, I never paid a copay. And he goes, you don't have one. I said, yeah, I do. You're a specialist. It's like $80 fucking.
Yeah.
Like I should pay you that, you deserve it. And he's like, no, you don't know how I do it. So that's how they do it around here. So that way the patient doesn't have to pay anything. Say, hey, I'm game. I don't have $80. You know how much I'd owe him right now? I've seen him 5 times. And that would be $80 a piece.
Yeah.
I don't have $400. Anybody else? I have no rent. That's my rent money. So it's awesome. And God, I swear to God, there's been a couple times I've just wanted to fucking hug him. Like, thanks, bro, for being you. But I tell him thank you every time I leave. I always shake his hand. I said, hey, thanks, Mike. And he's like, I got you. I'm like, all right, man. So he like really, he cares. He's not in it for anything else. He's trying to help people, and that's nice.
Yeah. But I wanted to commiserate with you a little bit because I know how hard it is to like lose your opportunity to have surgery, and that might take a while to get set back up. But like when I lost my job at FedEx, that happened to me. I was going to have my hysterectomy. I had my hysterectomy. It was set up. It was supposed to be in December of last year, and I lost my job in October, and ended up having to get canceled. And like, I know that that's different because like top surgery is one of those, like, it's a hyper focus area because like it's something that everybody else can see. Like nobody can see
thing, right?
Nobody can see if I have a uterus or not, but like see, like,
and people you wear baggy pants. Nobody knows if you have a dick or not, but I know like boobs are right in your face. I hate it.
Yeah, no, like I had like fucking E-cup breasts, and like I could not have lived with having that forever.
Oh shit, bro. No.
Yeah, no. When I was done, they took 14 pounds of tissue off of me.
Well, that's like my son. He hasn't had his second one yet, but each one of
Yeah.
his boobs was 15 and 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Just hold, and he's still holding up one end. He was trying to keep it as level as he could with the scale, and he put the scale on its and he laid his boobs on the scale.
Yeah.
Was like, this is ridiculous. I don't want them anymore.
Yeah. It is ridiculous.
It is. Who needs
I feel
that
like
shit?
breast
Jeans.
reduction surgery should be free. Just like for people in general, because like there's lots of cis women that have a similar problem where like it's just too much.
Well, if you think about it, though, you know how much money it's going to save on mammograms for the rest of my life? And doctor's visits and
How much is a mammogram?
biopsies and I have dense breasts, so they biopsy me. They want to biopsy me every time they mammo me.
Yeah.
So like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, it's nothing, really. We can't see very well. Do an ultrasound. It's nothing. Trust me.
Yeah.
I've been here before. And then they do an ultrasound. And they're like, oh, okay. You know, we'll watch that. You come back in 6 months. I'm like, fuck you. I'm never coming back here again. You're trying to cut me into me again. I had a biopsy. It didn't feel good.
I had never actually had a mammogram before I had them removed. And I probably should have, just because of like the sheer size and like the fact that breast cancer runs in the family. But I'm glad that was a thing that I got to avoid.
No, I don't blame you.
The thing that's most appealing about the hysterectomy is just never having to see a gynecologist ever again, because that's just a process that I can't deal with.
Well, I told you what happened with me when I went in to have my first appointment with Dr. Varenko. She's like, let's just go and do your annual while we're here. You haven't had one done lately, have you? I said, no, it's been a couple years. She's like, cool. So she like sits down, she's typing stuff. Okay, get up here. And she listens to my chest, everything. And then she's like, and of course, this is my brand new boss. I've been there a week and a half.
Oh, that's...
And she, maybe 2.5. And she's very demanding and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's afraid of her. And I don't know her yet enough to stand up to her. Now I just fucking smack that bitch. I don't give a shit. I'm not scared of her. But when I first started there, you know, you don't want to lose your job.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, put your gown on. I was like, oh, she's going to do a breast exam. Okay, fine, whatever. I do have a history of having biopsies done. So I was okay with that. And then next thing you know, she slides that stool up and I'm like, wait.
No. Okay. So this is a person
feeling uncomfortable.
This is a person that you work with.
It's my boss.
No, this isn't good. This is not a good. This is a bad. This is an exploitative situation.
Heather, and I said to Heather, I said, can you believe you did this? She goes,
for the kids at home, if your boss ever asks to see your bits, there's one of two things that are happening. 1, sexual assault. 2, sexual assault with a side of trying to make a power play to make you feel submissive to them.
No, it wasn't that. It was a side of, I don't understand what trans is. And I had no idea till I asked her about transitioning later. Like we started talking about testosterone and stuff. And one of the last things she said to me, because she was irritated because I came over and asked her to resend a prescription.
Yeah.
Because Walgreens sucks. And they didn't get the prescription twice. So I was like, can you please send it one more time?
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, fine. I don't know what you think this is going to do for you anyways. And I went,
oh, that's
what?
Okay. So that's all kinds
of. Yeah. I mean, I've been insulted, everything there. Yeah. She still calls me she to this day. Yeah. I started transitioning 8 months ago and she knew mine 9 months ago. Yeah. Like, doesn't even fucking care.
Oh, this was,
like, I'm walking around with facial hair and she's calling me she. I'm like, I know you guys can't see it on camera, but it's way more visible in person.
Yeah.
Like this, it's just ridiculous at this point.
That's not okay. Like that's not a situation that you should have ever been put in, first of all. But
fist bump, hug, all that shit, bro. I never see him anymore. Anyways.
I have a problem at work where like everybody seems to do okay with my pronouns. Because nobody, like half the people there don't even know that I'm trans. And the people that do know so far have been very cool about it. But I have a very close friend who also works for the same company who they misgender all the fucking time behind their back because they're non-binary. And people just refuse to learn the they them thing. And it's like I'm putting this like between a rock and a hard place where like I'm the new person in this group. And if I get like loud and whiny about stuff, then they might stop respecting my trans identity. But also this is my friend and I don't want people to talk shit about my friend and like use my friend's dead name all over the place where they have no business having that name in their mouth.
Who else there is non-binary or trans or asexual or anything that you know of?
There are several of my coworkers that are some flavor of queer. So that's the part that's
Okay.
really confusing to me, is that like this is not a mystery. Like I'm not the only one. There's lots of us. So this should
I
be a
would
thing that
I
people
would
are
have
aware of.
I'd have an umbrella meeting
Yeah.
and be like, look, this is what's happening to this person, and I
Yeah.
don't want it to happen to me or anybody else, and I'm not okay with it. What do we do?
Call a meeting of
And
the
ask,
queers.
no, yeah, just ask them what they've been there longer, right?
Yeah.
So say, what you guys have been here longer. I'm new here.
Yeah.
I love this job. I love working with all of you, but I just want to stand up and say something about it. What do you guys have been here the longest? What do you think?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the fact that you showed them that respect, number one, ask them another form of respect, and they're higher than you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get help.
Yeah.
It'll be taken care of, and you won't even have to do anything. Just
Yeah.
ask them what to do, and all of a sudden it'll happen.
Yeah. Because it drives me batty because they've been out for over a year. So like we're way beyond the point where it's like, oh, I forgot. No, you didn't forget,
Right.
and you've been reminded lots of times. It's not cute.
Her boyfriend,
Yeah.
Dr. Warenko's boyfriend, corrects her all the time in front of me.
Really?
That dude don't even know me.
That's so funny.
I have spent like a total of, including going to dinners with him and being at the office around him, I've spent a total of like 6 hours around this dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, Deb, and I'm like, thank you, Jim. Old white cis dude. He's got it. What the fuck?
It's really not hard to tell when
Well, he's
people
not
like
that old.
legitimately make a mistake and when they like are doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
There's
she
like
goes,
there's
oh, sorry.
a whole vibe that you can feel.
No,
Because
she's
like I
not doing
did
it.
that.
It's not that she's doing it on purpose. She just doesn't care.
Yeah,
That's
too.
what pisses me off about it.
Yeah.
I helped this woman move out of her house when she left her husband because she was fucking around on another man.
Ooh.
I mean, I got paid for it eventually, but I helped her like 3 fucking times.
There's just layers. There's layers to this
She's
weird situation.
I know, dude. There's so much. I'm serious. I'm never, ever, 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 ever working around a bunch of cishet fucking women again. I'm done. I'm never doing it. Every time I've done it, it's nothing but fucking drama. All of them are drama. Michelle's over there bitching about her husband and talking about her dogs and her cat all day and reheating soup 10. I'm not kidding. Reheating a bowl of soup 4 to 5 times because she'll go reheat it and then she'll stir it and heat it and stir it. And then she goes and sits down and she goes to eat it and somebody walks in the door and she goes, pushes it away. Oh, I'll have to reheat it again.
Yeah.
Bitch, just eat the fucking soup. Just go stand in the kitchen, eat the fucking soup. We'll check the person in. I watch her go back and forth because my door's like, was like right here. And here's the kitchen. And she's just to the right of that wall, right?
Yeah.
Kitchen all day is what she does. All fucking day. The girl that I was supposed to replace as the office manager 8 or 9 months ago, like I was told, all day, doing nothing, making the same amount of money as I am, and I'm doing her fucking job.
Yeah.
Why are you angry back? How much time you get? I got about 4 hours of a conversation in.
People really will needle you like slowly and deliberately over
they're doing it.
Ungodly periods of time, and they love to ask you why you're so fucking angry. They love to make you angry and then make it your fault.
See, but there's only one problem with that whole theory, Larry. You're giving them too much intelligence to think to do that. And I feel like you need to back off on giving them too much intelligence, because I just realized my mic was pointed over there. So sorry, guys. Hope you can hear me okay now. I have a pretty loud voice. I didn't think there was any problems there.
Wait, Dave, I have a question.
Oh, I got a lot to read. I got to catch up.
Dave says someone is sleeping in my soup. And I have a couple questions about that. Is the person...
My soup is too hot. My soup is too cold. Someone is sleeping in my soup.
Or is it a very, very large bowl of soup?
And does the person have long Goldilocks hair?
And are they wearing a swimsuit?
I would like to know that as well. Maybe it's Alice in Wonderland version of what's her face, Little Red Riding Hood or whatever. Which no, that was the wolf. What was the other one? Goldilocks. That's what I was trying to go with.
Yeah.
I wonder if she like crossed into
that one joke
Wonderland shrunk down and then jumped in. That's what happened. I got it all figured out now, Dave. Is that what happened?
Right.
I know. Yeah, that's got to be what happened. It's a regular bowl of soup. The guy lives in an apartment. He doesn't have a house big enough to put a bowl of soup outside, big enough for someone to swim around in it. So
that's going to be my new dating strategy. Just put out a hot tub full of soup and wait for hot women to jump in it.
Yeah. You could like get loaves of bread and just cut off the edges and throw the croutons in and be like, would you like to take a crouton with you, ma'am? You can nibble it on it while you're in there. Oh, never mind. I'm getting really nasty now. Never mind. Just stop. Stop, Larry.
But like soup chicken. The story that I was actually going to tell, because Ox said something about adding pineapple to soup. So I work in a gourmet kitchen now. And we have a chef in training. And he loves to just take all the fucking scraps from everything that they've been making during the day and turn it into soup. And sometimes he'll just throw the most random ass dumb shit into a soup.
It doesn't matter. You can throw anything in a soup.
You cannot put anything in a soup. That is
I do it.
False.
It's no. There's lots of cereal is soup.
No, we had this conversation before. Cereal is not a soup.
Actually, I'm the one that said it wasn't, because soups are technically hot in the definition.
Yes.
Unless it is labeled as a cold soup, every other soup that is a soup is automatically considered to be hot. Cereal is cold, therefore it is not a soup. So I was actually the one that brought that up.
I've had a bunch of different cold soup things since starting this job. I've had all kinds of food since starting this job.
I bet.
I've never been able to have before. And like,
dude, I can't work with you. I'll be fucking like 500 pounds.
Oh God, I've lost 15 pounds since I started this job.
You know what? It's probably because the cooking's better. It's better for you.
Yeah. Well, it's also because I'm like not sitting on my couch all day.
But, we're not supposed to do this all day.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got up. I got up and got dressed and went to the therapist today. So I'm just saying I've been really productive today.
Yeah. So build her gender. Exactly. So I've had like gazpacho. I've had like that weird cold cucumber soup thing, which was better than I expected it to be, considering it was cold.
I can't remember if I've heard of that. I can't remember if I've tried it or not.
Yeah.
I've seen it somewhere.
And then we get like the fancy hors d'oeuvres. Like we get they make eggplant tapas or something like that all the time, which is fucking delicious, by the way. And I never even used to like eggplant. But anyway, I'm just talking about food now because I've lost the plot.
Never use a swimsuit when swimming in soup. It will ruin your swimsuit, though. That was common. I thought that was common knowledge. Thank you. I didn't even realize. I've never been much of a swimmer, Robert. I had no idea swim will ruin you. But it makes sense. The fats and the oils combination with the elastics and cloth or material poly. Yeah.
Would you like another tangent that's swimsuit related?
Oh, go. I don't care. I can get on any fucking tangent, right? I can be angry like that. Just do it.
Oh, that's okay. I am going to so I've been having I've been waffling back and forth about what I'm going to do about the swimming situation.
Here we go, we're waffling.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't want to do shirtless because I got giant, big, ugly scars, and I don't want people to get in my face about how I shouldn't be shirtless because, transphobic reasons. So I have, and also I have Irish skin, and I've literally gotten 2nd-degree burns from the sun before. So I'm getting a surf suit. So it goes from like here down to like mid-thigh level, and it's all one piece.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I think it's going to be really awesome. The only part about it that makes me nervous is it's like over $100. So if it sucks, I'm going to be out a lot of money. But
ask them what the return policy is.
Oh, that would
some of them. If you just try it on, like with clothes on, they will return it.
Well, this is something I'm ordering it. So, and like returning stuff via the internet is terrible.
Oh yeah. But I mean, you're ordering like on a site, not on like Amazon or something, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So this is from Tomboy. If anybody else is interested in getting a surf suit.
Tomboy has good shit.
Yeah.
They do. I used to look at it when I was trying to act like something else.
I've gotten underwear from them before. So like,
oh yeah.
Hopefully it'll be just as good.
Speaking of underwear, has anybody heard about that banana hammock thing they have?
Which banana hammock thing?
There's literally a pair of underwear called the banana hammock.
Yeah.
And they started making them, and I don't know when, but I saw an advertisement the first time like 2 months ago, and it has a separate area for your junk and everything.
Yeah, like
dress either way, and it keeps it off your skin,
like Separtech, kind of.
Yeah, it separates it. So like, and so Stags. I told Stags about it. He goes, "Dude, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't feel." I'm like, "So you have to feel it against your slimy ass, sweaty belly all day, and your groin area, or?" And he's like, "Well," and then somebody said something about, "I don't think it'll reach the belly," and then it just turned into a whole bad thing after that. It was pretty funny though, but no, but I think that's pretty cool because that if I had that down there all the time, that would bother me because it bothers me with Packers.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling that sweaty feeling.
Yeah, I use
feel
Packers.
Wet and I don't like to feel wet.
Yeah. I don't use Packers for like a variety of reasons, but that is also a consideration because like I'm a fat guy and sorry kids, but the grundle sweat is real.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm chunky and I have it, so.
Are not chunky. How much do you weigh? Like
no.
40?
No, I actually gained 5 pounds in the last month. Oh. And now I'm up to 179.
Oh, well, that's still not that bad.
No, I'm pretty chunky. I got a dad gut. That's what happened. All my fat. Yeah. No, seriously. That's what happened. Like, okay.
Really? But like,
I won't push out my belly. I did push it out a little bit, but the side chub I had all went to my front when I started doing testosterone.
Yep.
It was totally like even and now I'm like, oh, I got this thing in front of me that grew there in 2 months. Like
it's very masculine looking though.
It took, well, thank you. Like the dad bod?
It is. It's very much a dad bod.
I know.
No, I've been trying to do good. I've been going to the gym like twice a week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good. But I'm still like, I have like 180 pounds to go before I'm at a healthy weight.
Well, yeah. So. Well, I have like,
you need to lose like one
40.
of you.
I have like 40 or 50 pounds. It's not the worst I've been, but it's a lot.
Imagine carrying another you around on your back, and that's how much I weigh.
Larry, how tall are you?
5'7".
5'7". Okay, and you're also a broad-boned person. You're built like my son. My son is a lot wider. His shoulders are actually like this much wider than mine.
Yeah.
When we stand back to back, he's just a wide dude. Okay, so when I got out of the truck, I'm 5'6", like barely 5'6" right now. When I got out of the truck, I was a little over 5'6". I have a smaller body frame. I was always very thin when I was younger. I averaged 135 to 145 pounds. That was my typical. And when I got out of the truck, I was 230.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I do know what it's like to carry another human around on you. Approximately a 13-year-old boy or 14-year-old girl. That's what I was carrying around. Yes, a 12 to 14-year-old child, all times. And they were just wrapped around my waist.
Yeah.
And part of my ass, and just like from ribs to thigh.
Yeah.
I had 100 pounds of weight. Couldn't see in the bottom of my legs. You couldn't see it in my shoulder. My shoulders still look beefy. Under here got fat. You know, I got a little chub there right now. Yeah, no, I don't have that. That used to be there too. I only have like a little pinch now.
Yeah.
So that's improved. But no, but I mean, I know what it's like. That's why when people are like, you're mean, you said something about fat people. I'm like, motherfucker, I used to be one.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It took me years and years.
Oh, yeah.
It took me from I quit driving truck over the road originally in 2010. And then I ended up going back in 2013 because my ex got sick and I had to quit being an EMT. Yeah. And I had lost almost all the weight by that time.
Yeah.
And I went back and drove for a year. No, I'm sorry, I lied. I lost like 30 pounds at that time. I was still pretty big. And then I went back, drove for a year, came back. I had gained it back, the 10 pounds I lost. And then I went and became a painter and just started smoking pot all day.
Yeah.
And it fell off of me in less than a year. In less than a year, I literally lost 53 pounds.
I believe that.
I did not diet. I was eating like Jimmy John's subs I'm serious. Every night was a Jimmy John sub for dinner. breakfast was usually like 2 breakfast burritos from McDonald's, and the weight fucking fell off of me because I was moving around.
That's exactly what happened to me working in the warehouse. So when I worked in the warehouse at FedEx, it's like 115 degrees at night because it's a big brick fucking oven. And so I lost my first year working at FedEx. I lost like 40 pounds over the course of the summer. So over just about like 3 or 4 months. And I was getting McDonald's on the way home from work every single day because we were too fucking tired to cook. And I was still losing weight like that. But and just for the people in the audience, this is not like a self-image thing, because I've been fat my entire life and I have long ago come to peace with that. My real push for losing weight right now is that I have chronic health conditions that no one wants to do anything about because everybody wants to send me to the bariatric clinic. So I have to lose weight so that I can get an endocrinologist somewhere to listen to me. But, oh, B, you lost your volume.
No, I muted myself because I was coughing. I was trying to be polite.
Okay.
But yeah, I literally just agreed with you.
Oh, okay.
Because whatever's wrong with you medically is going to throw you into a different category.
Yeah.
You know? So if you're overweight, they're automatically going to go bariatric. You have heart conditions. Oh, you're automatically this. Oh, but I'm here about my diabetes, but you have heart conditions. Yeah. Cardiologist needs to manage your diabetes. Well, fuck. Yeah. What the hell's going on?
That's the fun thing.
It does shit like that to you.
That's the fun thing is like, I actually eat relatively healthy and I exercise. So like every time I go to the doctor, they do an A1C panel. And I swear to God, like every fucking time, because they refuse to accept the fact that I have low cholesterol and I don't have diabetes. Just fat. But oh well.
See?
Yeah. Oh, build her gender. That's the one. That's the one. Fucking, that's why I'm trying to get a new primary care doctor right now. And I'm trying to find a trans competent primary care doctor, because I will not go to this doctor and have them tell me that my hormone problems are because I'm taking testosterone, because I have had all of these problems prior to taking testosterone.
You know, I just had that conversation.
Yeah.
I literally just told my recent ex-girlfriend and recent ex-boss.
Yeah.
Since I don't have a job anymore. You know, I just said that. I just said that same thing. Yeah. Anyways, carry on. I will be listening. I'm going to step over here and make my coffee. I'm literally 2 feet away, so I can hear you.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to talk to myself.
I'm only like partially dressed, so I'm not walking away like that. So I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I had the decency to put on shorts very deliberately before I started this call, just in case I have to get up to do it.
My stream, Larry. I don't have to put on underwear. No, actually, I'm wearing underwear. I totally am, and I'll put on some jeans. Just give me a minute.
Oh, I identify with that, secular Dave. Built like a right pair with stubby legs. If I ever like stood up and gave you guys a full body shot, like you would understand what I mean. But
you can't shock me, Larry. Sorry, bro.
I mean, there's pictures of me on my Twitter if any of you want to go hunt for it, but like I posted a shirtless pic the other day.
Nice.
Not that anybody needs to see that, but
well, the fact that you have the cojones to post it, I give you 2 points, bro.
Oh, well, so it was from last summer when I dyed my hair blonde. It was some like motivational post thing where it was like, it's like, I want to see pictures of fat people being confident, and I had a shirtless pic in my library, and I was like, all right, like, here you go. Here you go.
Here you are, motherfucker.
Here you go.
See, Larry, I love you, man. I need to see you make me laugh.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you too.
I love you too.
Oh no, Mac, are you looking at my photos? He just said, Larry, you look fine.
All right.
The horror.
All right, that's it. I'm doing it. Fuck it. Ready?
Oh.
Ready?
Yes. Right.
All right. You fuckers talking all the shit in the side chat. Come on in if you want.
Uh-oh.
There's a stream. Once everybody's grabbed it, I'll have Ox. Well, no, Ox can't do it. I'll go in and erase it.
On it.
I pulled the trigger. Fuck it.
Mac the Human says, I'm shaped vaguely like a lowercase b. Is that attractive? It depends on who's looking at you. I'm sure that there are some people in the world who find that attractive.
I'm more like a balloon bee. I'm a little bit more bubbly.
Yeah.
Stick out a little farther than a typical bee.
I found that when I was working in pharmacy, I got hit on a lot, which was surprising to me because I didn't think that very many people liked overweight women. But there's like a whole subset of people that like really, really love overweight women. That is like what gets their motor running. So Mac, whatever shape you are, just remember, no matter how ugly you think you are, there's somebody out there who would eat your ass like a cupcake.
It's true.
And that is a scientific.
Absolutely true. I have dated 1, 2, 3. Hold on, I have to think because I don't stand out in my mind very much.
Yeah.
4. I've dated 4 large ladies, and they were all fucking beautiful. Just because you got wait a minute, Mac's down there. That was fast, Mac.
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro.
Hey. Ox says, never be ashamed of your size. Big people will outlive the others on a deserted island. I disagree with that because I can't run fast.
I was going to say, you only have to be a little bit faster than the slowest guy on the island, motherfucker.
Right. Mac, are you Mac of the Human fame?
That's me. I'm Mac the Human. I guess I should put that in my name. Hi, Larry. It's good to see you face to face. I mean,
I can't remember if we have ever been on simultaneously before, but so nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't think so because you're usually on trans night. And we usually don't let these cis guys. Well, never mind. I can't say het. I'll just say cis. We can't let these cis guys invade our space, bro.
Oh god.
That's right. So I appreciate this, the opportunity to invade your space, and I hope I don't, feel free to kick me right away. No hard feelings if I ever,
What did you say? No, I'm kidding. I mean, come on, man. You asked me to do it, right? Feel free to kick me. I didn't let you say the rest of it. If what?
If I do anything to compromise your space, I don't want to.
No, Mac, please.
This ain't my space. I'm just living in it.
You're nicer than my brother, I think. You literally have more patience than he does. And that's saying something because that motherfucker. But let me tell you, Sunday, somebody's got an echo. Somebody's echoing. You're killing me. I can't stand to hear myself talk.
Do you think it's me?
Hello?
Yes, it is you. Thank you, Mac. Oh. Turn down something just a little bit, buddy. Anyways, whatever you choose. So... ADHD, I don't know where I was going now. What was I talking about?
Krabby said they thought that you were going to show us your underwear.
Oh.
And this is not that kind of show. This is a family-friendly Christian stream.
Oh, fuck that shit. Don't get too crazy on me, Larry. Slightly family-friendly down to 16 or 15 years old with a little bit of a warning to the parents. And preferably over 21 so you can legally buy pot. Anyways, not the point.
Stay tuned for Beck's OnlyFans link. It'll be in the chat.
Oh yeah, I actually have some really nice boxers. I found them on Amazon. I got some really fucking classy ass boxers. She was digging them and pulling them off of me. Well, that was a couple months ago. But anyways, now's now. Not the point. The fuck was I saying?
I don't know.
God damn it. You guys, wait a minute. Ben's not here. And when Ben's not here, somebody has to be in charge of keeping track of what I say to remind me where I am because I'm ADHD. So who wants the job?
I need to keep notes.
I got it. I got you.
Look, I can type 90 words a minute, but I
Mac,
only
you're
use
too high.
So is Ox.
Hold on, let me catch up with Mac. That's what's wrong here. I'm not high enough. So how you been, Mac? What's going on?
Well, I had my first day off today for quite a few days in a row, and it was a good one. The sun was shining, and I'm feeling good about it.
Right on.
But then I come on here and I hear that you're going through a hard time, and now I'm concerned for you, Beck. And I want to support you and see if there's at least a shoulder.
Me too, man. I'm concerned about me too.
That sucks.
Oh man, I've just through the course of today, from the time I got up, I didn't go to bed till I went to bed like 1 a.m. Went to sleep, lay there in bed for a while, got up at 11:47 a.m. I was like, oh, I'm up in time for. Wait a minute, what day is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Monday. Nobody's streaming. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Like it literally happened like that. But I'm becoming numb to it.
Yeah.
So it's probably good.
Do you know what your next move is going to be?
Huh. Can't talk about it live.
Okay. But you got something
We
in
can
mind.
talk about it in the back room if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad
she's
you got
subscribed to
something
my
going.
channel, so I'm not.
Right.
I'm not saying shit. Other than I'll insult her all day because of what she did to me. But
yeah,
you know, you push someone away because they have mental health issues, or after you said I'm in love with you and I love you. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't ditch somebody who's in the middle of a mental health crisis because you can't handle it when you truly love them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I gave her an out, Mac. I gave her an out. I said, how much of this do you think is because of the initial want and lust, just physically? And she goes, well, I mean, it's part of what brought us together. And I was like, right, but how much of that is the love you feel for me? She's like, no. I mean, I really love you.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation happened 3.5 weeks ago.
Wow.
At the time that we broke up.
Wow.
So either you're lying to me,
right?
You're selfish and you don't realize you're being selfish. Because I told her, I said, the bottom line is I lost the popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not how I said it. I said, so in this process of trying to fix yourself, and you're talking about going to therapy, and I'm very proud of you for that. You should absolutely, I started going. I feel better that I have somebody to go talk to at least, even though we have a long way to go. And I said, I think that's really good for you. So good for you. And she was like, yeah. She said, I think it's time. And I said, yeah, I think it's past time for both of us. And she was like, yeah. And so I gave her that out, and she denied it. But now here we are.
Yeah.
See, I gotta learn to control myself, Matt, because I have this problem, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I'm not bragging about myself. I'm not trying to sound like a cocky dickhead, but this is what happens to me. If I have sex with a woman who's never had sex with another female or anybody that was halfway decent in bed, and is with the typical narcissistic two-pump chump, I'm gonna go to sleep guy, like she was, I have sex with them, and then they're like, "Oh, I love you." And I'm like, "No, honey, no, that's called an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same." But I make that joke, but it's what happens to me. And she was already falling for me prior to that, and then without taking her clothes off of her and putting my hand in any inconspicuous places, I made her come harder than she ever has in her life.
Yeah.
I think that had a big part of it. Because women tend to mess up the difference. Like guys can separate it. Women don't separate. They'll clump it right in together.
Yeah.
If they mentally or emotionally need to do it.
Right.
Yeah, and we're still echoing. What's going on? Damn it.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I've got noise canceling microphone and headphones on.
Let me turn my volume down and see if it might have been
maybe
me.
I should just tap
No,
out.
because I heard
figure out my tech.
It sounded like something was up way too high. Like maybe your mic is up too, and headphones are up too high, and they're picking up interference.
Oh.
Okay, well, tell me when you can hear the cat. Go ahead.
No.
And then what?
No.
But then what happened?
I think
what? Well, I'm asking.
People are really, really, really reluctant to ever admit that they might have made a mistake. So, like, I think that, like, even if that were true, even if, she would have thought to herself that the relationship was more about sex, she would probably have never said that, because that would require an admission that she told you that she loved you and she didn't mean it. And that's a pretty significant transgression. That's a big thing to do.
I think there's a lot of factors, and I think there's a lot of factors to it. I think she was trying to not hurt me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I had told her, several times in our relationship, this genre of the subject came up, and I said, I would rather somebody just tell me the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit me. Don't sugarcoat it. You know, tell me this is okay. Like, you tell me, hey, I'm going to talk to you about something really serious, and this is going to be rough. So can we sit down together and we can talk about it? And I'll say, sure. And then I know some shit's coming at me, right? I'm like, okay, I'm ready. You know, I'm ready for it. I don't like being smacked in the face. And I don't like being led on and drug around to spare my feelings.
Yeah.
She actually made everything 10 times worse. She literally did. Because I felt like she wasn't being honest with me. You know, oh, I need some space. 2 weeks later, oh, no, I can't do this. Can't do what? How this is with us. What is?
Yeah.
I leave you alone totally. We never talk on the phone or anything. I only see you at work, and I try to be very kind to you at work because I don't want you to think I'm mad at you. Because when I tried to act just you're a coworker, like you normally would with somebody, you said you're mad at me, and you started crying. What do you want me to do?
This is something in like ordinary relationships. Like,
God, it sucks being the guy sometimes. There's no winning.
I can't imagine being that way because, like, Justin and I are both a very specific way, and we're very like socially inept, which has led to us being very, very precise and direct with each other and communicating almost excessively because we don't want to be misunderstood. And so, like, when we have issues, it's a linear situation where we have problem, we have solution. And I can't imagine doing all this extra like mind games, and like she was clearly like trying to bait you to do something that she wasn't willing to tell you, just
right, Ox.
So like, you know, that's not conducive to solving whatever problem was there. Like, that's never going to result in what you want.
See, but the problem is because she has mental health issues. When I started flaring up, she went like this.
Mm-hmm.
And she put the boards up, and they're there.
Yeah.
And I have not entered since.
Yeah.
And that started 2 months ago, right, bro? I got some pretty good shit. And I was at the dispensary, and I'm buddies with the guys. Well, you know, I get along with everybody, right?
Nice.
Anyway, so I always bullshit with the guys there, and I forget their names. I ask them their names like every time I go in there, and they're really cool about it. And I'm like, no, I swear to God, it's not the pot. I'm just really bad with names. And they laugh. One of them is Matt. He's my buddy there, and I see him the most. And he's got tats on his hands and his arms, and he's got his hair kind of pulled back in like a little tiny man bun kind of thing, just a little, you know. And he's like, yeah, bro, no, man, look. And I'm like, Mac, what are you looking at? What's good today? He's like, oh man, let me show you this. Get the T Mac. I'm like, you just said that because that's got your name in it. He's like, no, no, that's the good stuff though. But on 420, we're getting a shipment, bro, and we're getting this shit. And I'm like, on 420, and he goes, yeah. And I said, that's sweet. He's like, right. He's like, I drive down to Albuquerque, get this shit. We never get it here. And I was like, 420, huh? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna come by and fucking buy like 7 grams. Yeah, man, do that. He goes, I'll give you good on it. Nice. And he does every time. Like last time I came in, he was like, here, let me give you some rollers. And he threw a whole bunch in a bag, just a handful of the rollers that they're supposed to charge like whatever, 50 cents for $1. He just threw a whole bunch of them in the bag. He goes, there you go, man. He goes, that helped out. And I was like, hey man, I appreciate it. Because I told him, I said, dude, I'm having a shit time. I need some fucking weed. I need some good indica. He's like, I got you, bro. So I went back in there, and I was like, all right, man, hook me up. So he always does. But this time he gave me this grinder, and it's Blown brand. And they had a little cheap one sitting over to the side. You could tell it was just rickety, and it would only last for so long. And it's probably not going to chop it up too good. But I was like, I'm poor. I can't afford the other one. Because I was like, oh, how much are these? He's like, oh, these are like $5. I was like, sold. I can afford $5. He's like, well, I got these over here. This one's 40 and this one's 20. And I was like, Mac, I can't, bro. And he's like, I'll give you that for $5. And I was like, the $20 one. He was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And the girl sitting over there, I looked over and she goes,
that's pretty nice.
But that's what they do there. They'll give the customers little discounts on things as incentives. Yeah. But it works. Like, we're all going to come back in there and buy our pot because he gave me some freaking free rolling papers that don't cost this company like what, 50 cents, you know?
So
It doesn't cost them shit.
My life has turned into a Dare commercial lately. I don't know if you guys did Dare. I don't know if that was like a national thing or not, but Dare is a
totally did
program
Dare.
they did in school when I was like in middle school, where police would come to the school and they would explain to you how horrible drugs are, and they would do a bunch of like anti-drug propaganda, and it was like a whole thing. But
those horrible drugs.
One of the big prevailing things about the Dare propaganda was that you'd have all these scenarios in which people are just offering you free drugs, which is just like, seems stupid because drugs cost a lot of money. Why are people just giving them away? But so since moving into moving into this job,
I'm never that lucky. No one has ever said, "Hey, bro, here's a free." Well, no, that's not true. Some concerts, but not in daily life.
Yeah. So,
joint.
But since moving into this job, like this is the first job I ever had that I didn't get drug tested for. And that was a sign of the times, I guess, because I get offered shit like literally on the daily. Not the upper management. The upper management are very like staunchly, that's not okay. But like our captain, one of our captains was like, "Hey, before we leave this venue, you want to go get blitzed behind the containers?" And I'm like,
fuck yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Look, yeah, the boss.
Appreciate you.
Look, if I'm at the job and the boss says, "Hey, I'm gonna smoke. You want to? We're gonna. Do you want to with any of those?" And they have pot. Hell yeah. There's two reasons for that. That means now we're buddies.
Mm-hmm.
We both smoke pot. That's an instant. It's like two guys that own a Jeep at work. We're Jeep buddies. We both own a Jeep Wrangler. You know what I mean? It's true. So you get like the weed buddy thing going with the boss. And then if at any time you come into work too high, he's gonna be like, "Dude, go drink some coffee, man." He's not gonna fire you. He will never fire you.
Well, the captains don't have the ability to fire us anyway.
He'll just tell you to go. But I'm just saying,
yeah,
it's always good. I've always done that. The main supervisor at this place I was working, when I was working at Disney at the All Sports Hotel, I was talking about that before. When I was working there, that guy, we were all like in between lunch and the end of the day, and we had already taken lunch, and he was like, wait, come back over here. We were like, "Oh, great. What, are we in trouble now?" This guy was kind of hard ass. So we walk over there and he's like, here, hit that, Madsen. Yes, sir. Fuck yeah, who wants it? Yeah, I'll smoke pot with you, bro. Yeah, man. Hell yeah, I will. Yeah. Always take. I don't even care if you don't really smoke it. Just like you're taking a little hit, and when he turns his head, blow it out and be handing it back to him. He won't even know you didn't get high with him if you can't do it at work. They just want that camaraderie, and if you get that, you're good, man. You got to learn how to play office politics. Maybe while I was working there, I should have learned how to suck dick.
Politics.
Maybe if I would have learned how to suck dick while I was working there, I would have been better off.
Did you have anybody who had a dick that you could suck?
No, I'm just saying that there's somebody there that's really good at it. So maybe I could learn that skill. No, I was just trying to use that to point at her.
I've often wondered how much further.
Because I'm a mad dude who's gonna be a dick.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how much further in life I'd be if I was just like willing to suck dick to get ahead.
I have a fun personal fact related to that. Not literally, though.
If you're a woman, you'd be rich.
My family on my
lumberjack, it might work. Sorry, Larry.
My family on my mother's side is actually like has money, and like decent amounts of money. Like my grandparents and my great uncles have like estates worth multi-millions of dollars. But I am going to starve to death in poverty because I refuse to toe the family line, because my family is very conservative, very Christian, very right-wing, like they're all Trump Republicans, and I'm a gay, liberal, transgender atheist.
That's much worse than sucking dick.
Wait, what? Did you just...
You don't want to...
Larry.
Yeah.
What?
Did you just say you're... You just said you're trans, bro? I didn't know that.
Oh, no, yeah, I know. Most people can't even tell. No, but but so like that was my choice when like my older brother was also very conservative. He was an athlete, blonde haired, blue eyed, like perfect conservative poster child. And my granddad paid for his college. He bought him 3 cars. He supported him after his divorce and like paid his rent and shit. That man has never called me in my life. But at the same time, like, I'm kind of glad that I'm out here doing it on my own, because I couldn't live with being beholden to like denying my entire internal and external identity as a person for the sake of having access to money.
Right. What would you have to do realistically? Would you have to like renounce your gender identity? Like
I would probably, yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be for definite. Like, I would have to present more femininely. Like, my granddad, as a child, so like, I've talked about this a little bit before, and like, everybody thought it was weird, but like, we had a requirement for how long our hair was supposed to be. So the boys went to the barber shop, and they got this one specific haircut they all got. And then, we went to the beauty salon with grandma, and it could never be any shorter than here. Ever. That was a rule. And like, you could only wear if you had makeup, you could only wear makeup at a certain age. If you did wear it, it had to be within a certain color range, because red is for sluts.
Come on.
Like, the entirety of my external expression would have to conform to like 1960s era fashion for women. And I can't do that. I can't pull off a paisley skirt, and I'm not going to try.
Suddenly want to see you try.
I can.
Maybe we'll do like a drag race day.
Totally.
We'll all put on costumes.
I'll put one on.
But so
that's really horrible. That's so horrible. But you probably feel good about it, right? I mean, you obviously
there are
made
parts
the right
of it
choice.
like it was very painful coming to terms with the fact that I was going to lose my family.
Hi,
But
Robert.
I grew to realize that it was going to be even more painful to try to conform to that lifestyle. So like, for me, it is much, much better to be able to be my genuine self, and I have a lot of pride for like, even with all the shit that is going against me with the mental health and physical health and everything, I'm here. I'm in my own apartment. I work a full-time job. I'm married. It's,
awesome.
Things are good.
Bye, Builder.
I'm talking a lot.
Hi,
Somebody
Jenny.
else talk.
Hi, Jenny.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all?
Hey,
How are
Jenny.
you, my lady?
Oh, I'm just fine.
Good.
Got a new profile pic.
No, it's an old one. I just recycle them.
Well, it's new to me.
She does. She'll switch them through every so often.
Wait till I bring up the one where I look like a German Shepherd.
That would be, I bet you there's some furries in the chat.
Look like a German Shepherd.
Statistically likely.
It is statistically likely. You're right. Good point.
So what are you guys talking about?
I don't know. We've been talking about mostly my fucking woes and how shitty my life is, but we're not going to continue on that topic. So, although there are some funny anecdotes I can randomly add, but
I did a portrait of you, Beck.
Oh,
wow,
it's beautiful.
Bro, what happened to my face?
I'm sorry. I know. I got your hat pretty
really
good,
poofy, but the rest of it is really cool.
You captured the hat beautifully.
It looks like I'm like, oh damn God, going around talking like this all the time.
I tried to have you chewing on a toothpick.
Oh, is that what it was?
We have a furry in the chat.
I used to.
We have a furry in the chat.
HH, see?
Oh, right
That's
on.
always a possibility. Now I know that about you, HH. Just remember.
I'm not making fun of anybody.
I don't care. I mean, I make bitches call me daddy, so whatever. We all have our things.
Furries are awesome.
Whatever.
Just as long as you don't hurt anybody.
I actually had a persona.
Everything's okay as long as it's all consensual.
Exactly.
Even if you're hurting someone, if they want to be hurt.
All right,
whatever.
fair enough.
I
would not recommend coming to the town where I live.
I've never gone to the extent of like having a costume to wear, but I had a persona drawn for me several years ago, and it was a bear, obviously, because repressed feelings of explosive homosexuality.
The best kind.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you killed me. Because of
Oh.
Whew, and then you always let off those big words. Fuck, Larry, you're great, man. Glad you're back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You are also great.
We missed you though, really. Like Ben and I were like, yeah. And then after a couple of weeks, we were just kind of like, okay, Larry's not coming. You know, we quit asking each other.
I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry, man. You do you.
I just have not been.
Your shit should come first.
I was not in a good place, and it was one of those things where, like, I wanted company, but I also knew that I was not going to be a good time to hang around with, and I just didn't want to bring that shit out into the public space.
So you know what you could always do, and you don't have to tell anybody. You could just come in here, right, and sit and be quiet and not say a word, and we just would not care. We might bring you in here and there, but we would just let you sit there. I've had all kinds of people do that. Jenny, there's been nights that Jenny just didn't feel like talking much and she wasn't feeling that good. And she sat down there and every so once in a while she'd say something or I'd go, hey, Jenny, how you doing over there? And she'd go, I'm okay. You know, and it's okay. Like, we understand if you don't talk, we're not going to be like, do you want to talk it? Like, we don't care. If you say, I'm not talkative tonight, just tell us that ahead of time. We'll leave you alone. You can sit there in the corner of the chat and pipe in when you feel like it.
Well, I'm done talking. How about you, Larry? How about you, Larry? You done talking too? I'm done talking.
I mean, I've talked a lot today. Somebody else should have a turn.
I was just trying to get us all silent for being.
Tell us a story, Jenny. How are you doing? What happened to you today?
I'm all right. I don't have any stories though. My life has been quite dull.
Oh,
same.
I'm just kind of existing, waiting for the winter to get over. I'm tired of being cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking forward to the heat. It was like 70 something here today. It got hot. I was like, fuck, here it comes.
I'm observing a period of mourning right now because even though I do this every year and I learn this lesson every year, I started my seed starts in the second week of March. And they all died because it's still fucking cold in this godforsaken state.
Oh,
But
you started too soon.
You didn't start.
Well, that's okay. At least you have.
I started them inside, and then like 3 days ago, I put them outside, and it fucking snowed.
Oh,
so let me proclaim this very quickly. I put a link in the chat. All the regular people are welcome. I don't see any assholes in there. Yeah. Whoever's in the chat can come in if they want. Pixie, you want to come in? Come in. I've never got a chance to talk to you. I've heard you talk 50 times. OA, come on in if you want. OA is another person. Like, she'll come in and she'll just be quiet for like an hour and not say anything, and then she'll see something really fucking funny. So, you know, we know she's there. So, yeah. Not everybody comes in and talks all the time. Just people like me that are ADHD and PTSD and have this issue and that initial and those initials. And
yep.
You feeling better, Beck? You seem like you're feeling better than the beginning of the stream.
I'm just slowly throughout the day, I'm just becoming number to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to laugh at it. I'm at that point in my anger where I'm laughing at it, which means I'm pretty fucking angry, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. When because I can see the ridiculousness in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always see it. So, like, I looked back over this because I almost made it a year there. That's a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like, usually I can't make it a year somewhere. That's why I've had 67 fucking jobs. I'm about to go find 68. I can just look at all of it and be like, wow, and just look at the progression and how it changed and how it transformed. And when I can see it like a fucking little movie in my head, man, because I notice so many things every single day. I can see little fucking details, little details. And when I do stuff, I fix all the details and people go, wow. And I'm like, what? They're like, oh, you cleaned all this up. Well, yeah, that's what should be done, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's how I think. But I see all these little details and I can make it like a movie in my head. I could see it all transforming from, you know, the whole thing of me meeting her and starting the job and then blah, 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 blah. I could just see it going around like a slideshow. That's what it's like. It's like a slideshow from somebody's vacation, but way more drama and bullshit than it should be. Family vacations are nothing compared to my year there. Whew. Yeah, job and girlfriend, all. Yes, both.
Yeah. being able to hold jobs for long periods of time has been a struggle for me. And even though I know that like your job isn't your life, like your company doesn't own you, but still, like every time I lose a job, even if it was something I had no control over, like this, what happened last year with my back, that wasn't me. That wasn't my fault. I was put under unreasonable circumstances and I got injured and they fired me because of it. And I still felt like, I'm never going to be able to get it together. It's never going to be right. I'm a fuck up and I'm never going to be able to get it together. But then I got this job.
Yeah.
And, it sucks and it's painful and it's stupid and it's ridiculous, but you keep going. And like it is going to be okay because, you have no choice.
Well, I know it will be inevitably. It can't stay like this forever. Like nobody's life is that torturous. I see about 1 year of hell for me. And by the end of that year, maybe at month 9, I'll have everything all sorted out. But it's going to take me that long to fucking sort it all out. And I want to say, yes, Maya, it's also hard to support your life without a job when your job was only paying you 24 grand a year and you have no money saved up.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
It's hard to save money when you don't get paid decently either.
Yeah, I mean, how the fuck am I supposed to do anything with that?
Like if
I could have drove to Faithless Forum, but I couldn't take the time off of fucking work and I couldn't afford the gas. I couldn't afford the gas money to go from New Mexico to Texas. Yeah. Like, how ridiculous is that? Fuck, man. What the fuck? Never mind get a hotel or eat while I'm there. Yeah, that's insane.
You get immediately disadvantaged as soon as you are short on cash. You get immediately propelled to the bottom of the ladder in society.
Well, first, I must ask, what part of Texas?
It was in Austin. I'm not in Texas. I'm in New
Texas
Mexico.
Is pretty big. You drive for 3 days and you're still in Texas.
It's like a 12.5-hour drive from where I am to Austin or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I know what you mean. And like, even though this job is going to be good for me compared to my other job, like I still can't afford shit. Like I have to save back, every penny that I don't spend on food just so that like when this stupid fucking car needs to get the catalytic converter replaced, I'll be able to like not lose this job.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah. I almost, when I went to get my stuff out of the office, I almost became petty and pulled the shelf off the wall that I paid for and installed. Almost. I almost pulled it off the wall and spackled the holes and just left it like that. And I thought,
did you have the receipts for it?
I'm going to be a bigger person. No, I don't. That's why I didn't do it. I could use a nice little shelf like that in my house.
Yeah.
Hell, my brother cut the boards for me. I was like, hey, while you're here, can you? He's like, I got it.
Oh, I got to hop out for just a second.
Do it, bro. Do it. Back. Run while you can. I'm on a roll.
The economy right now is very responsible for all the woes folks are expressing here. And nobody is making enough money to support themselves, to pay rent, to save, to have any money left over to enjoy yourself with. It's screwing everybody. The pie has been cut so heavily to the rich now. There's just not enough money down at the bottom end for us to share it and still have a decent life.
And corporations, a lot of corporations, particularly banking institutions like Vanguard, are responsible for a lot of the inflation in the housing market because they've bought up the majority of the starter homes and made them rent homes.
Yep. It's bullshit, and they're buying them up everywhere, all over the place. And there's more companies doing it than that, but that is one of the biggest companies, yeah. They're buying them up everywhere. There's nothing for sale here. Everything for sale here is going for a quarter to a third on top of what the price originally was now.
Yep.
So my now ex-boss, she had a house. She bought it for $680,000, and she's going to sell it easily for $1 million.
When you see these what median strip signs, I call them, that they poke into the corners that they're coroplast, and they have we buy any house, kind of things.
Oh yeah.
Rip those out of the ground and throw them away, because a lot of times those are if you call that, you talk to local people, but they're agents of the corporations.
Oh yeah. There was a house next to the one that we lived in before we lost the house. It was bought for $35,000, and then they flipped it and they sold it for $180,000. And like they do that a lot around here, where they will just grab up for like the lowest dollar amount that they can get you to accept, and then they'll make millions of dollars on it. And all those millions go sit in a bank account somewhere of some fuck who's never going to spend it, and people are homeless and have no money. But no, there's literally a woman that I work with who she's signed up for one of those like mission programs that sends you to Africa to build houses and stuff, because she literally can't support herself on her own and she has no idea what to do. She literally signed up for like an 18 to 24 month program in a foreign country because she is in complete despair of how to make things work for herself at home. And that's really fucking sad.
And think about this, right? Let me add to the pile of this paycheck I get here, right? The minimum wage here is $12 an hour. $12.10 or $12.20 an hour. And that's because it's so expensive to live here. It is a tourist area. I live outside of town. Now, if I didn't have my tiny home and I had to rent a place, even just a room, if I went to rent a room, I would be looking at $900 to $1,000 a month.
Yep.
Because I own my own tiny home, I pay $400 a month.
That's where I'm lucky.
Still kind of steep considering what I don't use.
That's where I'm lucky. I don't like where I live. I don't like the culture where I live. Not fond of this place. I will be very, very happy when it is time to leave this godforsaken place. However,
can we ask what state it is?
Texas, but not in the fun part of Texas. I'm only about less than 4.5 hours from you, so not the fun part of Texas.
You're that close to me?
Yeah. But
well, you should come visit.
I am. Oh, we go there all the time. We're gonna go there soon, actually.
Oh,
but,
cool.
My favorite food is there. So. But yeah,
Mexican food, because that's all over here.
New Mexican food, which is different
New Mexican food. Yeah, there is
yes.
a difference. It's true. There is a difference.
But yeah, the one good thing about living here though is that it sucks so bad. Not a bunch of people want to live here, right? So property's pretty cheap. You can rent a 3 to 4 bedroom house for like $850 a month.
Do you guys see the difference?
You can buy a 2,000. You can buy like a 2,000 square foot house for under $300,000.
Yeah. So one of the things
300 grand here is like a 500 square foot house or something.
We tried to find a house to rent here, or like a half a double to rent here, because they are much cheaper than apartments. This apartment was like the cheapest one that we could find that had 2 bedrooms. It's $1,000 and some change. But we found when we were looking for houses, all of the houses, and not just Indianapolis, but like all the towns to the south of us, like Beech Grove and Southport, and anywhere within an hour of where we needed to drive to get to work, was all owned by 2 companies. There were no single landlords renting, half a double. They were all owned by these corporations, and you just couldn't get one. There are hundreds of them sitting empty, but you cannot make an appointment with these people to get one because they're just holding them as monetary assets.
Right.
They don't give a shit about being landlords.
Who cares about people that need to rent places to live?
They're holding on to them, and they're going to hold on to them until the properties appreciate in value, and then they're going to sell them to a different corporation.
Well, the housing bubble is what destroyed the economy in 2008, and this is a new bubble. It's just from a different angle of approaching the market. These guys are going to cause the same damn thing as 2008 any day now.
I think unfortunately we responded the wrong way to the bubble in 2008, which is why we're in the mess we're in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we should have let these companies fall, because despite what people believe, that would have caused an even bigger problem, because these companies sponsor everybody's retirement accounts, right? You let them fall and nobody has retirement accounts anymore, among other things. But I also don't think they should have gotten the pass they got. I think what we should have done is we should have taken more control of the banking system itself and the sector itself, because despite having the name Federal Reserve Bank, it's actually privately owned. And I think we should have said something more like, okay, yeah, we're going to bail you out, but if we bail you out, you have these kinds of stipulations and we get this kind of control. Right?
Except before 2008, there were regulations that would have prevented 2008 from happening, but the Republican-led Congress and previous president took all of those controls away.
Right. Well, not all of them. They also had what they didn't so much take them away as open up loopholes, right? And so part of the problem was that they were lending to people that they knew couldn't pay, that they were going to foreclose on, and they would turn around and use that as assets, right? And it created this whole mess. And so not only did they get in trouble for it they didn't get in very big trouble for it at all when they should have. But on top of that, they said, okay, well, then we'll play it the opposite. You don't want us to give money to people buying homes. We'll give money to corporations buying homes. They're not in any danger of defaulting on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so there's just literally like unless you have, 200 or 300 grand outright, you can't buy a fucking house here.
Who the hell's got that kind of money laying around?
I could have rented, like, if I were allowed to rent one of these doubles that is listed as available, there was a 3-bed that we found that was $700 flat. That would have been a great setup for us.
Yeah.
But you can't rent it.
That's just crazy to me, because like I said, there's a house right down the street. There's a house right down close to where I live, a couple blocks over. It is 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage, a good sized front yard, and a pretty good sized backyard.
Yeah.
And it is selling for, I think they dropped it to $260,000.
Here in the city, it ranges because, like, we have like boroughs, right? We have like the rich people boroughs and we have the poor people boroughs. So like a house in Broad Ripple can easily go for $300,000.
Oh no, this is the good. This is the good side of town. If you go to the other side of town, you can get a 4-bedroom house for around $100,000.
Oh well, I can't live in Texas though.
Yeah, you don't want to. I agreed to raise Super Munchkin around her family, and we're almost at mission accomplished. She's 16, so when she's got some solid footing under her, I am gone.
Yeah. I always say that I want to move out of this godforsaken state, but I honestly have no idea where I would move to that, one, I could afford and would be better.
What state are you in?
I'm going to tell you. You have to live around the outskirts of Santa Fe. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So much cheaper here to live. Now, the shit in Santa Fe is expensive, but the pay is also better, usually by $3 an hour than it is down in Albuquerque, because they know it's expensive to live here. So you get cheap housing on the outskirts, and then you just drive into work 15 or 25 minutes or whatever.
What was that, Pixie?
I always thought I'd go back to Colorado, but my husband is looking at northern New Mexico.
Good. Northern New Mexico is awesome. That's where I live.
If we stay in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the other option.
It is truly, but I'm going to tell you, I have never been in my life lived in a place that is so accepting of people. Like, people just don't, they're like, okay. I'm like, oh, I'm trans. They're like, oh, good for you. So anyway, so I want to make an appointment. Like, they just, good for you, And
it's
of
weird.
Course, that subject was brought up because my voice had dropped so much. Everybody was like, B, is that you? It sounds kind of like you, but much deeper.
Yeah. It's weird here because Indianapolis is like a little blue bubble in a super, super aggressively red state. So like most of the people here are cool, but then you'll find people that are like offended to
Fucking
death by
asshole.
your existence. Like I got assaulted in a bathroom
Yeah.
last year
What?
So you
just
live
for,
in the
just for being there.
so you live in the equivalent of like Austin or Houston or San Antonio, like
I
the
suppose
blue
so, because those
bubble
are
in the
kind of
red
like
state.
bluish, right? Yeah.
Well, because Texas is red and where I live is very red, but Austin is blue, and it's like
Yeah.
this, and it started to seep into like the Houston, San Antonio area, but like they're like the little blue haven in this massively red state.
Yeah.
Texas used to be blue.
Yeah. Maya says you couldn't pay me to live in Florida. You
Same,
could pay me to
Maya.
live
I
in
lived
Florida.
in Florida. I hated Florida. I hated
Well, actually,
well, at
no,
least
no,
Orlando, Florida. It's
because
so
my
fucking humid there and just sticky all the time. And
there are parts of Florida that like we traveled all over Florida because we have friends down there and we had our honeymoon down there. And so like there are parts of Florida where like I could see myself being very comfortable, but also like my husband is slightly tan and I will end up in jail the first time somebody says something about it.
oh right. Yeah.
Because like
no.
there's a huge like if you think that people up here have a hate boner against Mexican people,
Oh no.
people in
Oh
Florida
yeah.
just like are ideologically opposed to the idea
Anybody
of
that's
anything south.
tan. Anybody that's tan, they won't
Yeah.
even know what you are. It doesn't matter. And
Oh, yeah.
that started from the Cubans and Puerto Ricans
Yeah.
coming into, and now they're just mad at everybody. But it's the people that it's the original like Floridians that like generations have been there, not people that just moved there. People that just moved there usually don't give a fuck.
I hate
But
white
the people
people.
that are indigenous to Florida, the white people indigenous to Florida, they are the worst, horrible, Bible thumping rednecks. I mean,
so
like I swear to God, as you go down, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And guess what? Florida's below everything.
Yeah. So
well, no, there's some above Texas that are worse than Texas. Like I would argue Alabama and Kansas are probably worse than Texas.
Yeah. We had a friend down in Deltona that we would go to see quite regularly. And we did so for a while until we kind of found out that he was of a certain persuasion that we did not agree with. And that like he like regularly made comments about Latino people that were discriminatory and false. And he would constantly talk about how every time we went to visit him, because we only went to visit him like once or twice a year, he would talk about some Latino family had moved into the neighborhood and he was super angry about it and angry about all these foreigners coming to Florida. But then he would like grill out with his Canadian neighbors like every weekend. I was like, they're foreigners.
Well, it's like
about them.
It's like when the last administration,
but their skin's white.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like when the last administration kind of sort of let slip that although we don't necessarily want immigrants from, and I apologize for using this word, I apologize, quote unquote, shithole countries, and we needed more from the right kind of countries. What he was saying was he wanted more white European immigrants.
Yeah, because nobody ever talks about nobody ever rails against the fact that like Swedes are coming here and taking over.
You know the thing that blows my mind about it though? All these people that are on all these places and all these politicians, most of them are from immigrants.
All of them.
All of
the
them
amount
are from immigrants.
Well, I mean, all of them technically, right? But I mean, that flood of immigrants that we had that came through Ellis Island, like almost a lot of us are from that flood of immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say immigrants are bad?
Yeah.
We're all fucking immigrants, you goddamn idiots. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Nope. No, but it's only okay. That's right. We prefer blonde-haired guys too, by the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know, that's
why.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Pixie.
No, please. I have a delay. You continue.
Oh, because I've already told this story before about how my granddad, when I started dating Justin, asked me if I wouldn't prefer to date a nice American boy when like we're World War immigrants. So we've been in the country for like 3 less generations than Justin's family has. So by all rights, his family is more American than ours.
I can trace
But
my
you can't
family.
even
I
go
can
ahead.
trace my family back to the early 1700s, so I pretty much trump you
Mhm.
all. Get the hell out of my country.
Actually, I was gonna say, I'm part native as well as part immigrant, so I've got both sides covered.
Oh, okay.
But it bothers me when they say things like, like speak English, or I shouldn't have to press one for English and blah.
Mhm.
Like that always bothered me too, because I'm like, if you really stop and think about it, right? Like, first, the US doesn't have an official language, and we don't have an official language for
Mhm.
a reason, right?
Mhm.
We were never a homogenous group, not ever. But
Mhm.
second of all, English is a foreign language brought to America, and I didn't see anybody running around trying to learn Navajo or Cherokee or anything else.
Yeah. Well, not to mention that, like, if we're gonna go by the standard of like who was here first, like Spanish speaking people were here before English speaking people. Like in terms of like building
Exactly.
population settlements and stuff in the
So were
South.
the French.
Definitely.
So were the French.
So like, you know,
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Mayans and Incas have it kind of like one leg up on everyone. They
true.
they had civilizations that were in North America back in their day.
Yeah.
You know, we can go back and we can find the damn villages and cities and stuff that they had established up here.
Yeah.
This was their
Yes.
country.
Yes, they actually think that the Cree might have been descendants of the Mayans that migrated to North America. But yeah,
Yeah.
and like they say that like they were all savages and they were all like nomadic, and that's not true. For example, I'm one of the natives bloodlines in my family is Cherokee,
Mhm.
and they were not nomadic. They had a portion that would use teepees like camping tents, the hunters, and they would go out and follow the herd during hunting season. But we had permanent housing. They had agriculture. They had a written language, like an actual written language. They have their own alphabet, everything.
They built pyramids to equal anything they ever built in Egypt, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them,
Yeah.
Of course, what we
all
see in
buried under
Egypt.
jungle, but they're still there.
Yeah.
Of course, what we see in Egypt now is just a shell. They used to be covered in white limestone with golden tips.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
might have been pretty good looking.
But Maya made a good point. American is a euphemism for white. And that's exactly what it was. He was asking me if I wouldn't have rather dated a white person.
See, I don't like that. I think United States is equivalent to white. America is equivalent to the people or who were originally here.
Yeah.
And I say it that way because there were so many different Native American tribes.
Yeah.
You can't give it all to one. They're just there. It was all of theirs. They've been here for. They think they've got new fossils that they found that make. Oh gosh, what was that? I'm forgetting. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That have pushed the dates of humans in this continent for back another 15,000-20,000 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was theirs, not ours.
Yeah.
And they're beginning to establish also that they think a whole lot of the population didn't come across some stupid damn bridge that was so fucking foreboding from glaciers and mountains in winter and things like that.
Yeah.
But they think they came over in their various canoes and other watercraft to South America from the Polynesian islands and things like that.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot
And
of
we
ways.
know we've seen them. We know we've seen the boats at least because of their legends.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What's up, Brainbug?
we pushed it back to 30,000 years. Ginny's on top of the game there. It was 15 to 18, with the longest estimate being about 25,000 years that humans had been a stable population in the New World, and they pushed it back to 30,000 based mostly. I think it was on was it a fire pit they found in like New Mexico. I believe it was the oldest location now. Hi, B.
yeah, and
Hi, lady.
that's just the North American continent. The
Mhm.
Central and South American are going to be even older.
Yeah, they
I
had.
agree.
They're looking into Polynesian contact with South America too, being like a legitimate thing. It's always been speculated that there was a Pacific contact with the South Pacific in South America, and why wouldn't there be? They're adjacent to each other. Yeah, there's miles of ocean, but the Polynesians proved that they could handle miles of ocean any direction, except for south, of course, because it's Antarctica. But who would want to go down there anyway?
Agreed, Maya. They always do.
Oh, sure, Maya. Give Bree the credit when she's just repeating what I just said.
I was
here we go.
Estrogen's
out.
I wanted to pop in to add to what Pixie was saying about the Cherokee, the Cherokee Nation. So the Cherokee Nation's like they weren't like a people. They're more like a conglomeration of different tribes that joined together when. Hold on, just a second. I'll be right back.
Clans. Yes, they do. So I'll let Bree will probably explain it a lot better, but where most of the tribal people were like, you had the Lakota tribe or the Sioux tribe, the Cherokees were kind of an umbrella, and then you had different tribes under it, but those tribes, because of the way we were formed, are more commonly referred to as clans.
Okay.
So, like, I myself am from the Van clan, which is a combination of the Wolf and Raven clan.
Oh, okay.
My family was actually the Nations. That was their. I mean, not they weren't. They were part of the Cherokee Nation, but they were the Nations was the name of their clan.
Yes.
Oh, really?
I actually have her in my genealogy, where my mom's like quarter Native American, but I'm not enough to even say anything about it. I feel like I'm imposter to even try to claim to be of Native descent. But
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're okay. I was gonna talk about that they developed. So the cool thing with the Cherokee is that they were all these individual little groups that were different. Some of them were farming communities, some of them were hunting communities. But they all when they started getting oppressed and pushed back by the European colonists, mostly back during like the 13 colony era, when they were doing the tribes were getting together and saying, hey, what are we going to do? And they formed a coalition that we call the Cherokee now. And they invented their own culture. Essentially, they said we need our own language. We need our own written language. We need our own.
Isn't that the various Oneida tribes got together and established really basically kind of a constitutional framework?
Yeah, it's all built on
all the tribes to settle differences, to communicate with each other, and that from there. Americans began to think about the idea of a constitution for the colonies.
The Iroquois really kind of, the way that a lot of our constitution that we have in the U.S. is based on what the Iroquois had.
Mm-hmm.
I love when Jenny's here because we can sit here and nerd out about nerdy.
If we could just have gotten, if they could just have gotten the rest of the tribes to join in on this and fought as one native group, I don't think they would have lost.
Bree, let me interrupt really quick. Can you update us on pronouns? Because some people in the chat don't know where you're at right now.
Well, I
don't want to say it wrong.
No, I'm okay. Everything, it's all they, them will always be okay to me, no matter where things land. So, but I'm really, really on a big fem swing, I guess. I don't know. It's really taking me this direction. I'm really comfortable like this. So I went to work the first time as a woman today, and it was I was very nervous.
How did it go?
Well, I tell you what, when you do something like that, the allies show themselves first. Everybody else is quiet. You don't know if they're indifferent or scared or just or disgusted or whatever. You don't know because they're quiet and don't say anything. But the allies, they come right up to you and are like, "Oh my gosh, let's make sure that you have a buffer zone about this." I had one of my coworkers who I just love her. She's a big old gal, but she was she sits across the wall from me, but she was kind of hovering around, making sure nobody gave me any stink eye or anything.
Nice.
So
that's very nice of her. It's nice to have an ally for sure.
Right. It's just now it's picking out freaking office outfits for the week because I only have to go into the office every couple of weeks now that they're trying to do this hybrid model of work from home because it worked out so well. So
Yeah.
Well, just tell them that you're doing a hybrid version of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
Oh,
I can't. I just can't see myself.
Damn
going
it,
back to
Dr.
expressing
Cross. I thought we
masculine.
had an agreement.
Oh my.
I think that's really cool, Bree.
Oof.
Max, like, how you doing? I have an alternate relationship. How are you?
Seriously, that's gonna
Femininity
make
looks
my
like it's
whole
really suiting you.
Oh, she's
week.
beautiful too, man.
No offense, Mac, but get SR in here.
Oh,
My daughter just did my eyebrows tonight too. How's that look?
oh,
I'm gonna
looks good.
go back in tomorrow with my sexy eyebrows. Oh,
Really nice.
it was
Congratulations,
it did
man.
run out my bandwidth though, because of my own
Did it?
brain more so than any
Do you
external
know-
factor. I'm the whole time kind of paranoid.
I-
Especially I had to go to the bathroom 3 times and I didn't. Yeah.
I don't know if this is like a weird
Which bathroom
thing to
did you
have,
use?
dysphoria about, but like when I started testosterone, I really hoped that I would get like thicker eyebrows because that happens to some people. Some people they get bushier eyebrows after they start T, and that didn't happen. And I was like, I don't know if it's weird to feel like I have unmasculine eyebrows.
It is kind of ironic
don't
to say
know.
that you can fill them in with a mascara brush and make them look a little more masculine.
No, don't use a mascara brush. Do not use a
No.
mascara brush.
No.
Just get an
No.
eyebrow pencil. It's made for it. It's cheap.
I can't do makeup.
Oh my god, you guys
I'm
want
I can't
do makeup
trans
either.
guys to do makeup? Are you kidding me right
If-
now? We
if you
avoided
do-
that
if you
shit.
use-
We don't
if
want to
you-
do makeup.
If you use mascara on your eyebrows, you're going to end up like Rudy Giuliani when he's nervous. You know, it's going to be bad.
I don't know.
Well, how
I
much
use
mascara do you think I'm talking about? I just put a little color.
spray and hair color.
It
is
don't
what
take
he
much to
did.
make a mess.
I'm
Oh.
a female and I'm terrible at makeup. I know one makeup pattern and one makeup pattern only, and that was to get my big sister off my back when we were younger.
I'm getting better at makeup.
Yeah.
As
I
go
can't do
along.
eyebrows.
Yeah.
No, I just know one eyeshadow pattern, and that's it. That's all I know.
I can personally attest that the older you get, the worse makeup looks on you.
Thank you, Dr. Cross. I appreciate that. I'm making a granny square Afghan
With skulls.
Awesome.
because I'm so
Max the
masculine.
snack.
Damn it. Yeah. So this is my I'm calling it the candy skull Afghan because the colors make me think of Jolly Ranchers.
Oh yeah, I'm single. Mac,
Like
how
a
you doing,
sugar skull?
sweetheart?
I never really learned how to do makeup because my family was very conservative. So like pretty much the only time we were allowed to wear makeup was if it was like a big occasion, like a wedding or something like that. But other than
You
that,
wear makeup to church?
no. My father didn't tolerate really the wearing of makeup. That was just for like if it was a very extravagant occasion, like a wedding or like a some big event like that.
Fuck you, Dad. God.
Right?
No, that's why I became a goth in high school. That was like pretty much the extent of the makeup that I did. Is I did like the white powder, really, really badly.
I had that experience too. We might have hung out when we were in school.
Yeah.
We've gone to the same school.
Well, so I kind of figured out recently that I think that maybe my goth phase was like my first attempt at like gender nonconformity, because goth clothes were like, you know, cargo pants and spikes
Totally.
and belts and that kind of stuff, which were more masculine styles of clothing and like t-shirts and stuff, as opposed to what my parents
See,
wanted
they
me to
didn't
wear.
have goth when I was a kid. I totally would have done that.
Yeah.
See, and I got to wear tight shirts and bell bottom pants and stuff like that when I had the ones with the chains on them too. Those were
Yeah.
those were
See,
I had the trip pants that had the big ass
Those work
chains
with
on the side.
everything.
Did you? I loved how doorknobs just grabbed right a hold of mine because I'm just the right height that
Mine
I
were
couldn't walk
actually
through my
like
kitchen.
mine were like the kind that have the zipper at the knee.
Turn around and all the
These
drawers.
these
cabinets
pants
are
weighed
open.
like 15 pounds. Okay, they were heavy, they were black, they were nightmarish, but I refused to wear anything else because it just made me feel so good.
I was
but,
somewhere
like,
between.
Anyway,
I was
Go ahead,
somewhere
Pixie.
between. I was somewhere between goth and steampunk before steampunk existed.
Yeah.
Like I had the goth aesthetic, with the rings and the ribbons that tied it but
Yeah.
it was also it had the more steampunk edge because I was all about the corset fitted shirts and the fishnet gloves, and my jeans would be ripped top to bottom, front and back, with black leggings underneath, and like I don't know. I was a weird little thing, I guess.
That's not weird.
Not
It
weird.
was a
just
totally
different.
normal fashion when I went to school.
I think we're all normal, and people saying that I think normal is weird, honestly.
Yeah.
Normal
Well,
is too
it certainly
weird.
wasn't normal to wear those pants in my school. There was like 6 of us, and
Yeah.
we were pretty well avoided by most of the other children.
Hey, Bree,
Hi, Cat.
you should come on a stream with me. I just
Yeah.
thought about it.
They're
They're trying to find somebody more non-binary
Oh, Catnip's on. I
to
didn't
talk
see.
about
Hi, Catnip.
pronouns and stuff.
Yeah. I have
Need a
butterflies. I tell you.
non-binary
We didn't have
grammar
a lot of
Nazi.
trouble with homophobic bullying in the school that I went to. Our school was one of those that had like the Gay Straight Alliance Club, and they had very strict policies about that kind of stuff. And really, the only time I can ever remember somebody acting like that was somebody called one of my friends a faggot, and I was one of those where, like, by the time I was 10, I was as tall as I was ever going to be, and so I was taller than all the other kids in my grade, and so I literally just went up. I went up to the guy and I stood like head and shoulders over him, and I was like, "Are you sure about that?"
Well, it was my generation that started the whole word androgyny.
Whoever wants to come in.
Yeah.
And pretty much gave everybody permission to be where you're all at today.
That's
Are
right.
they butterflies? Or are
These
they
are my
moths?
butterflies.
Oh, they're very pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really see them very well, but I'm assuming they're pretty.
Yeah, well, they're in their sleepy stage because it's nighttime here, so they don't really want to be bothered too much.
Yeah.
But I wanted to
okay.
show B.
What kind is it?
It's cool.
Painted ladies.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I actually just got one of the
nice.
little science kits you can get for kids.
Yeah.
Did you?
That's pretty cool.
Painted
Yeah.
ladies are so cool. They migrate just like monarchs do. People generally don't know that.
Yeah. We've done painted ladies a few times in the past, so it's always fun to watch them grow. They've already been through my favorite part's watching them pupate, watching them build their chrysalises. But
and aren't they pretty much on every continent?
Come on, Cross.
yeah, you can. They're pretty not metropolitan, cosmopolitan. They're pretty cosmopolitan. So yeah,
Ubiquitous.
Mhm. Sorry, Speckle.
I am
Oh.
super jealous of your height. I would love to be tall.
I'm not actually tall, though. Like, I'm only 5'7". I was just
Yeah.
taller than the other kids because, like...
Okay, but I'm 5'1.5".
Oh,
You're the perfect height.
you're the perfect height to be a pixie.
I love women that are that short. Fit right
Um,
under my chin. I'm
Yeah,
only
but
like
cooking-
I'm barely 5'6".
Anytime I have to cook, my kitchen turns into a jungle gym. Like I'm jumping on the counter and
Wait a minute.
cabinets and
No one lowered the cabinets for you?
no.
See, I would have done that. I
Oh.
totally would have lowered I would have cut the bottoms of the cabinets off and made them whatever. You have 4 inches of space at the bottom to play with. Just
I
put
don't
'em
know.
on the
I
ground.
just
You
learned to
can't-
climb.
You
I just
can't
climb
build a whole
everywhere.
house for someone her height.
No.
We'll
A
get you
woman
nice
should be
build
happy
her
in her
stills.
kitchen. That's a woman's domain.
Hey,
is in her
if
kitchen.
I can manage in a
What
grocery
now?
store, I can manage in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm the one climbing my cart and climbing the shelves and telling people to mind their business.
Yeah.
Do you at least
Pixie,
have
I
a
have a-
sliding ladder?
I have adopted a step stool in the kitchen now.
Yeah.
Pixie,
As we get
I have
older,
to ask you
Pixie,
a
we can't
question.
climb as well.
I have a
I'll hook you up when you're old. You let me know. I'll make
I have a
Bree,
paralyzing fear
You're
of
probably
ladders.
younger than me, dear.
Oh yeah?
I think we're the same
How-
age.
how old
Pixie.
are
I think
you?
we talked about this before.
How old
I'm
are you, Pixie?
30. I'm 37.
I'm
You think I'm
38.
younger than you? Oh man. Woo! My ego's all the way up in the ceiling.
I think
right
she said
now.
she thought I was younger than her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you not? Are you?
No,
You too,
I'm about
Beck,
a
you
year
too.
older than you.
You're like 20.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
so
not,
I'm the
yeah.
youngest on the panel then. Am I always the youngest on the panel?
Yeah, pretty
Probably.
much.
Because
Sure,
Ben's
might as
older
well.
than
I'm
me,
always the
too.
oldest.
You're like 24, dude.
I'm
like,
26.
Okay,
Oh,
So
you're,
sorry,
you're younger than
26.
Ben,
Larry's a
though.
baby.
You're still half my age.
Pixie, I want
almost
to ask you a
literally.
question. When you're on the phone, do people mistake you for a 12-year-old?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, all the time. They ask for my mom.
Your
And
voice
at
is
first,
so adorable. I just love your voice.
It is. It's cute, isn't it?
at first I got really offended, and I would be like, "But I am the mom." And now I just really lean into it, especially with the telemarketers, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Is your mom home?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Do you
Just
know
start
when
talking
she's gonna
about
be
advanced
home?"
math or
And I'm
science
like,
and blow them away.
"I don't know." And then they stop calling. They're like, "You're not old enough to drive, are you?" And I'm like, And then they stop calling me.
Catnip
Bree,
says
that one's for you.
I'm apparently older than Catnip, but Catnip has progeny, and that means that she gets like extra years added on just because.
Twitter, Holy Spackle. Send it to Bree on Twitter, and Bree will identify the scary bug for you. Don't set your car on fire yet. Okay.
You set your car on fire. What's
I
going
have
on?
sent
Very few
pictures to
bugs that are
Bree
worth setting your car on fire
Twitter
for.
before, and I get responses like that.
Yeah, I like
They
IDing
always know.
bugs.
I did see a spider while cleaning the office the other day that was like this big, and I did consider setting it on fire.
No, you catch
Hey,
and
everybody.
release.
It was too
I gotta
scary
go.
to catch.
Sorry,
Okay.
I gotta.
My
I'm
cats
gonna-
eat them.
Don't
Bye, Mac.
don't
I
Later,
got a date
Dave
with
Mac.
Richard. I gotta go hang out with Richard for a while.
Later,
so.
Dave
Okay, bye-bye,
Mac.
Mac.
Tell
Good
Richard
hangout.
I said
Mac.
hi.
Always
Wait
a
a minute.
pleasure.
Wait a minute.
night.
Is that an open hangout?
I
guys gonna be
bet it
live?
will be. Yeah, I mean, we're going live.
Okay, I'll come
Yeah.
over there when I'm done.
Oh heck yeah! Awesome.
I might
Nice.
too. I don't know.
Bye, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you all around anyway. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Mwah.
You bet.
Larry,
I
Later,
got
you
you,
can't
buddy.
Dave.
Love
just
you
take
too.
indoor spiders and throw them outdoors.
But-
Most indoor spiders are only going to live indoors and they're going to die outside.
Yes,
Okay,
you can
fair.
only go in like a barn or
So
something.
then I did the right
Dad.
thing by leaving
the
it where it
garage.
was and then not accessing that part of the building for the rest of the day.
Oh, there's a place that I can put them where they will still survive, and I know because I check on them.
No, the real problem that we have at work is that like the entire back wall of the shed where we keep all of our shit is just covered in like paper wasp nests.
As long as I don't take it like way out
Not
in the
good.
yard, and I let them be by the deck, under the
Mhm.
deck, under the covered deck, then
Mhm.
they're fine. Usually.
Cellar spiders will actually are good for paper wasp. They'll like that. They'll like you putting cellar spiders or house spiders out there. They'll eat those up.
Yeah.
I just gotta keep them away, the bigger ones away from the mud daubers, because the mud daubers are friendly and we need to leave them be.
Yeah, I like mud
Okay.
daubers. I like watching mud
All
daubers,
right.
daubers build. It's always fascinated me.
I can get along with stuff like praying mantises and crickets, but I just have this primordial fear of things with 8 legs that just I can't live with it in my space.
That's how I
I
felt
killed a
towards my
black
brother.
widow. I killed a black widow and I cried. I just don't like killing
Oh.
things.
That's
Next
fair.
time, just send
I
it
mean,
to me.
that's
I'll
totally
take
fair.
care of it. I'll be my baby.
But like that Black Widow might have chosen violence eventually, so you know.
Black widows eventually always choose violence.
There was this one guy I saw like a special on TV once that he lived like out in the Southwest somewhere and he got bit by a black widow and then he dedicated like the rest of his life to going out and hunting for them and killing them on purpose because it was such a painful and traumatic experience.
Yeah, you
Never
can
trust-
have. Sorry, go
Never
ahead, Jimmy.
trust any animal or insect that bites the head off of its mate after they're done fucking.
I mean, that's just a Friday night, Jenny.
Well, most predatory arthropods are willing to do that after copulation. They want to get that extra protein for their eggs.
Oh, we raised Drosophila in senior bio.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah, Drosophila right here.
we recreated the whatever famous experiment was with the white body, red eye, black body, red eye. You know that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. But gene expression. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the dancing spider that kills its mate?
Oh, the
Like a
peacock
jumping-
spider.
I think I don't know. I just remember watching them. They kind of look like peacock, like they have
Yeah,
a peacock
peacock
career,
jumping
but they
spiders.
stick their little arms in the air
They
and
got
wave
the
them
little paddles
around.
and they put them up and they wave.
Yes, and they're
Yeah.
so cute.
They
Almost
are
as cute as jumping spiders.
Now they have to dance good because she will eat them.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Cannibalism is not nearly as prevalent in salticids as it is in other spiders, though, because the males and the females are closer to the same size, so there's not as much drive to predate on each other. But it does happen, and if it does happen, usually the female is comes out on top and eats him up. The males are the pretty ones, though. The males are the ones that are all colorful. It's like birds. The peacock jumping spiders are fabulous and fantastic and gorgeous, but there are a whole rainbow of jumping spiders out there to sink your eyes into. So don't just stop at the peacock spider because it's the most famous one. If you go looking for them, you can find ones that are all different colors. You can find ones that are metallic and rainbow colored. Yeah,
Bree,
really beautiful.
you might be the only person who knows this, so I'm going to have to search my photos and find it so I can send it to you. I have always called it the android spider. Me and my friend were running around, and we got this picture of a spider that was on her car. I kid you not, this thing was green and had a triangle on its back. I don't know what it is, but we call it the android spider.
Was it a green lynx spider?
I have no idea. I've never seen anything like it. I'm gonna send you the picture when I find it. I'll look for it this evening.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
look
looking
like
good,
that.
Larry.
I've got all the colors I picked are like Jolly Rancher colors, so I've got like this
I was
cerulean
muted.
blue and orange and red and green.
Bree, did you check Twitter so HS doesn't light her car on fire?
Oh, I'm going now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spackle, don't light your car on fire.
Don't light your car on fire yet.
Didn't we have a
She
story
said the
like
11th
a
plague
while
has
back?
happened.
This pattern, by the way, is on Etsy. It's like $1.50, and so if you crochet and you think this is cool, go support. I don't remember the name of it. Oh my god!
I don't know, but I am searching for it because I do crochet, and Super Munchkin asked me to teach her, and that looks like fun.
Yeah, if you type in skull granny square into the search bar, I'm sure it'll be like one of the first things that comes up.
Hi, Gary. Hi, Titan.
There's only one arachnid I'm scared of. Not the brown recluse. The brown recluse is chill. Ticks. Ticks scare me.
Really?
Ticks are
It should scare you.
not
They
good.
don't scare me.
I just talked about ticks. That was my last bug of the week that I did was on ticks, on deer ticks and Lyme disease. So
Yeah, we've had to do tick removal when camping.
did you know that the
I've had
ticks?
people remove ticks out of my ass that were not in a good spot.
I
You know, the ticks proboscis is like it's not like it kind of looks like a chainsaw.
mhm.
It's not really. It's more like a hedge trimmer where the two blades go back and forth against each
Yeah.
other.
Mhm.
Right.
That's basically what they're cutting into you with when they stick their
Oh.
little proboscis into you.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were
Yum.
boycotting Etsy.
With one-way arrows. We're boycotting Etsy.
What happened? with Etsy?
What
I
happened with
used-
Etsy? Fill me in, Maya.
I
Or
don't
come
know.
in and fill us in. Whatever makes it easier on you.
Leeches scare me too, but I'm with
leeches
you.
are
I think I'd
freaky,
rather
bro.
have a tick than a
We got
leech.
to
I'd
we got
rather
to
have a
play
tick
with.
than a leech.
I mean, I'd rather have a leech than a tick, just because of the
No.
disease.
Yeah, we got to play with leeches in zoology.
Ugh.
They brought in like a tank.
There's more to leeches than just little parasitic blood sucking ones. That's just to let you guys know there's a whole ecosystem of these annelids, and they do more than that in their life cycle. There's ones that are predatory and that actually hunt prey and kill it that way. So they're not all parasites.
Right.
I don't
Sorry,
know. I
another
just know
one.
in medieval times, because of my size, I would have been considered sickly, and they probably would have leeched my ass.
Yep.
You're right.
Okay. So the
You're right.
Etsy strike is so Etsy announced this year that profits and revenue have exceeded expectations. Blah blah blah. but they are continuing to increase sellers' fees. So they are making record-breaking profits, but they are raising the amount that the sellers have to pay for each item. Because what they do, for anybody that doesn't know, I sell on Etsy, so when I put an item up on Etsy, I have to pay Etsy to host the listing. And then when the item is sold, they take a percentage off the top of whatever the sale is. And sometimes that percentage feels like a lot.
So they double dip you?
Yes.
Oh, that sucks.
So, and then like, even if you never sell the item, you still have to pay that listing fee every so many months.
I used to have an Etsy shop. I'm glad I stopped that years ago. I mean, this was years ago when Etsy first came out. I had an Etsy shop.
So a lot of Etsy sellers are closing their online shops for the week and going on strike.
Yep.
Real quick, while I'm still in here, the beetles that you sent me, Spackle, that's a carpet beetle. Just so you know, you can have an allergy to them. So if you have an allergy to them, there are methods to control that. I'm not going to give pest control information over while I'm on live
what were
stream.
they called again?
Responsible for that.
Carpet
beetles. Mm-hmm.
Carpet beetles.
Mm-hmm.
There you look up carpet beetles. Google how to get rid of carpet beetles.
Yeah, you'll find
beetles. Beetles.
Do they eat carpet?
It's not pot, I swear.
They live in and breed in carpet.
No, thank you.
That made me itchy.
I have no carpet. That was one of my rules when we were looking for somewhere to stay. No carpet anywhere. I refuse.
Yeah, carpet.
There's a car though, so she should just be able to. It should be pretty easy to get rid of them in that small of a space to control them.
Yeah.
They don't like to be exposed to outdoors at all. So I don't know. Again, I won't say too much. I'll send you some links though. Okay, so I'll respond to you after we get done here. But yeah.
I'm setting it on fire. No, don't set your car on fire. Take it to a professional cleaning place and say, look, this is what's going on. Can you handle it? Call some places that do professional car cleaning and ask them if they can get rid of them for you.
Also,
it's probably the easiest way for you to do it. It'll cost you a little bit of money, though.
Do not put a bug bomb in your car. I'm serious though, because like this is seriously that the gas that it releases, if it is under too much pressure and there's not adequate ventilation, can like explode. So if you put a bug bomb in too small of a space and under just the right conditions, it can literally explode.
So don't bug bomb your car. Stick with sprays. Check.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, don't put your weird things happen in cars. Okay, for example, my grandmother had her car parked outside in the driveway, right? Just in the driveway. It was a hot day and she forgot to crack her window. Venture to guess what happened? Her windows just shattered. Two of her windows just shattered because of the heat pressure.
Wow.
I believe it.
Doesn't get that hot here, thank goodness. I would never want that to happen. I think whenever in the summertime, usually while I'm at work, I leave my windows cracked anyways. So the heat doesn't build up in there as bad. And then when I turn on my truck because I'm spoiled and I have a remote start, and I turn on my truck and it automatically senses anything over like 60 degrees. It automatically turns the AC on. And we'll try to get it down to like 70 or something like that. So every time I get in my truck, it's nice and cool. It's like the perfect temperature. Oh, Jenny's back. Hold on.
I live in a place that gets very cold. And I have done the thing where you pour boiling water on frozen glass.
Mage said, coat the carpeting with talcum powder, give it a day or two and vacuum it up. You know what? You're right, because you're going to suffocate them with the powder. It'll get into all their little pores. You can't get talcum powder anymore. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be talcum powder. It can be anything that's kind of like talcum powder. Because that really fine stuff, they'll breathe it in, and it'll kill them. They'll dry out.
Or they make like carpet cleaning powder. That would probably accomplish the same
Well, they make different
Um,
kinds of pesticide stuff that can be used various ways. So I have to look into it. I have no idea.
I
But
got
it-
a
you know,
bounce,
really
guys.
with
It's been fun
bugs-
hanging out.
Or you
Oh,
could
okay.
just burn it.
Thanks, Bree. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye, Bree.
I'm gonna kick your alter ego. There, your alter ego is kicked. I had 2 of you down there.
Yeah. No, I feel you, Spackle. I once lived in a house that had roaches in it, and it like literally I had the things I
Yep.
had to do to that house to fix it, to get rid of the problem. Like extreme measures were necessary. But it was one of those where like the first time you have a bug crawl across your face while you're sleeping, you're like, I cannot live with this ever again. Ugh.
It's
I
one
woke up to a-
advantage to having 2 cats sleep with me.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time I have lived with them, which has now been 3 years, I have never. One time I woke up with spider bites.
Yeah.
Nothing ever bites me. Because if
Yeah.
it gets into bed, those fuckers are going to eat it. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
They'll play with it for like 2 hours and they'll he'll crunch on it and look
Yeah.
at me like, I'm like, was it good, man? He's like, I don't know.
Meanwhile, my dog is useless. He doesn't chase bugs.
Yeah, that's why cats are great. They'll kill anything that tries to come in.
I really, really like cats. I'm just very, very allergic to them. Like to the point where
I'm allergic.
It triggers
I mean,
my
not
asthma and then I
severe.
can't breathe.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have asthma problems. I have
They're working on breeding a cat,
Sinus and
genetically
respiratory
engineering
problems.
a cat that does not
Yeah, it's
create the protein that
hypoallergenic.
people are allergic to.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Hypoallergenic cat. No, they have one hypoallergenic cat right now. Does anybody know what it is?
The
Sphinx?
Sphinx.
Yeah, the one that has no fucking
One
hair.
that has no hair.
Because they hold the dander and everything in their hair. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what we're allergic to. We're allergic to that what's coming off their
Yeah.
skin and, everything else.
I'm very sorry, Mage. The roaches are just like the worst thing. Except for that one time I lived in an unheated garage and I would wake up with rat bites.
Oh, what the fuck?
That was probably the worst.
Bro.
When I was living with my parents,
I would have built a bed up in the air that hung from the ceiling before
when I was living with my parents, I had severely disordered sleep, and so I had night terrors and I sleptwalked and I had a bunch of problems, and my parents were like, I can't deal with this anymore, and so they put me out in the garage.
Wow.
And it was not sealed, it was not heated, it was not air conditioned, it was just a garage. And it had rats.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
Anyway.
Mage,
palmetto
when I
bugs.
when I was in Orlando, Florida,
Mhm.
I woke up one night. I went to bed one night, woke up in the morning, like really early in the morning. And there were roaches. Well, they were really palmetto bugs, which are bigger than roaches, and they fly at you and attack you. On the ceiling and on my screen that had a little hole in it, they found their way in, and one got in, and they all followed.
Yep.
And they were all over my fucking comforter. There was like 6 or 8 of them on my comforter. Couldn't move.
Palmettos are just standard roaches. Roaches get that big up on the north end of
Flying
the world here
roaches.
I had
flying
earwigs one
They're
time.
huge.
Ew.
Really?
We
Yeah.
get those a lot up here. Anywhere that there's wet leaves.
Well, I
hanging
think
around for a while.
yeah. When we first moved in, we had to get rid of those.
Yeah, but they don't really crawl in your ear and eat through your brain. That pincher thing they have is their sex organ. They're not interested in fucking you. Don't worry.
They're not going to try to fuck you.
They don't bother me. Actually, I'm much more terrified of a roach crawling in my ear than an actual earwig.
Oh, yeah?
I've had that happen before.
I could agree
It's
with
just
that.
as bad as you would imagine.
No, thank you. I decline to try that.
No,
I've never had it happen, but it sounds awful.
I gave myself an ear infection because I kept flushing my ear with peroxide because I couldn't
Clean
it was
the
one
good
those
shit out of
things
it?
where it was like it freaked me out so bad that I like kept cleaning my ear for like a week because
So
I
you were
was so
taking the
grossed
skin
out.
off of your inner ear.
Yeah, I fucked myself
Oof.
up because it was just so gross that I
Damn,
couldn't deal with
bro.
it.
When I was a kid, I don't remember how old. I barely have any memory of the event. Some bug of some sort crawled into
Mhm.
my ear,
Mhm.
and my mom said I was complaining about this buzzing sound in my
Mhm.
ear, and
Yeah.
everybody thought I was full of shit for a while, a couple hours, and then eventually my mom took a look and found some big ass bug in there that she had to go in with the tweezers and pull out. I was
That's
See,
why.
that freaks me out.
Traumatized for life.
well. Like I
Yes,
said,
chickens
I don't
do love
remember.
eating bugs.
Mhm.
I think
You
it
know what?
turned me into a trans person.
Oh no.
I've never even been bitten by a tick. My sis.
Trans? What is that?
That reminds me of those like Facebook or like the Twitter thing that they do where it's like wrong answers only.
Yeah,
What
right.
made you a trans person?
I read a book one day written by a gay man.
Oh. I made some
That
people
did
mad
it.
on
I
Twitter
was
when I
trans from
said
there on out.
somebody did that. What made you trans? Wrong answers only. And I said Harry Potter.
Okay, so my
They made trans
parents,
even in the movie.
at one point, my parents were really concerned. They were
Hilarious.
convinced that I was going to end up a trans gay man.
Why?
Okay, because my my best friend in high school was gay. But he
Okay.
didn't come out until he went to college, right?
Okay. Right.
So like I had ruined my friendship with another person because she was convinced that me and this guy had a thing going on and she had a crush on him and I couldn't just be like, "Hey, he's not straight."
Right.
So like I was really invested with him and keeping a secret because it just broke my heart. He couldn't even tell me. Like we were
Yeah.
on a road trip together and like he pointed at the word on a magazine and just broke down crying. And I was like, honey, that does not mean anything to me. Like, you're still you, and you're still my best friend, and everything's
Nice.
okay. You
That's
know,
right.
everything's okay. And so I kept his secret, which meant he stashed a bunch of stuff at my house. Okay? So
Did he stash his boyfriend at your house?
no, he stashed because he was reading literature, coming to terms with himself, all
Yeah.
that. And so he had
Clothes or something.
a gay book and he had some gay magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I hid them in Candyland because nobody had played Candyland in years, right? So I hid them in Candyland. And we were
Oh, I love you right now.
we were on another road trip. I was on another road trip with him. And we were just having fun or whatever. And like I get a phone call from my brother who is 8 years younger than me. Okay,
no.
keep in mind he's 8 years younger than me.
Mhm.
So he calls me and he's like, "I think Mom found the stash in Candyland. I'm sorry. Me and my friends were just gonna play." And so I get home and I am determined not to tell on my friend. And my parents are like, "I don't understand. It's gay, but it's not even girl on girl." I'm just like, "I don't want to talk about it." And they're like, "Are you just
I'm not
curious?"
telling you. It's none of your business.
Yeah, that's exactly where I went. I was like, "This is none of your business. I don't want to talk about it." I was just gonna walk off.
What we
My
do to
parents-
not out our friends on shit, right?
Yeah.
They
I
were
take a lot
so
of heat.
confused.
I got arrested because of one of my friends. Literally, it gets better. I was like 11 years old,
Mm-hmm.
12 years old. I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out at this, it was cold out. We were hanging out at this little fucking convenience store. And it was called Dairy Mart, kind of like a 7-Eleven. And we were hanging out there and he stole shit from there all the fucking time. Like I never even worried about it anymore. He stole more beer there than I think my brothers even drank at that point in my life. And he stole all kinds of shit from there. So one of them goes, "Oh man, I got to go check in with my mom. Can you hold this candy?" I was like, "Sure, man." So he gave it to me. I just stuck it in my pocket. I didn't think anything of it. We were reading like Mad Magazine and shit. And then we went to leave later and they were like, "Hold on, you didn't pay for that." And I said, "Excuse me?" I put the magazine back. And they were like, you didn't pay for that. And I said, pay for what? I don't have anything. That candy in your pocket. Oh, Sid's candy? Yeah, he didn't buy it, but I walked out with it. And I didn't know.
Yeah.
And my mom walked down there. She knew these people. We went to church with the people that owned the place. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So she walked down from the shitty trailer that we temporarily lived in because we lost our farm because of my father, because he didn't know how to pay bills. She walked all the way down there, and it was like 6-7 blocks. And she got there and got me. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She talked to the cops, and she told the cops to arrest me, to teach me a lesson. It did. By God, it fucking did.
Yeah.
I was real careful with cops after that. I didn't behave, but I was really careful.
Didn't behave,
You know,
but
I did, and I did all kinds of stupid shit after that. I just knew better than to do it blatantly out in the open, you know?
My
Like,
mom was
don't be
the opposite.
stupid. Don't
My
trust
mom was
anybody.
the opposite.
Yeah.
She was a preacher's kid, but she was completely the opposite, right? She's gonna make sure you didn't get in trouble with the law or anything, but by God, she was gonna teach you a lesson all by herself, and she sure did.
Fuck the law. You're
like-
at home now, bitch.
Yeah, I remember.
like-
I remember my god brother, right? My godmother's son. He
Mhm.
he's older than us. He's older than me. So like him and his friends were teenagers when I was in grade school, and I just
Right.
remember like they were playing with matches in the park, you know, starting tiny little grass fires and stomping them out, being ridiculous
Oh,
or
no.
whatever. And apparently one got out of hand, and they were like, "Oh shit!" And they're like putting it out, running around, stomping it all out and everything, you know. And the cops show up. Well, by the time my mom got down there, they were like in the back of a squad car, and my mom is like screaming at the cops. She's like, "Did you see it?" They were like, "They did this," and she's like, "Oh, they did this, huh?" And she's like, "What happened when you got here?" And he was like, "They were running around putting it out." And she's like, "So they're putting it out, but you're saying they did this? How do you know they did this? Where's your proof?" I mean, she is laying in on them, letting them have it. In the meantime, the boys are in the back of the squad car shoving the matches underneath the seat. So when the cop eventually let them go, and my mom let all of those boys have it. But, you know, that cop probably felt really dumb by the time he got to the station, because he opened up his trunk and there were a bunch of matches from the boys, like, shoving it under the seat.
Me and my brothers were nightmare children. We didn't really do stuff that was, like, intentionally malicious. We just did stuff that, like, we were too stupid to understand why it was bad. So, like, we would do stuff like we would go frog hunting. And we would literally bring home like dozens and dozens and dozens of frogs. And my mom would be like, "What the shit are we going to do with all these fucking frogs?"
And you're like, "But mom, look at all these frogs I have."
We found like an entire intact raccoon skeleton.
Nice.
I've told that story before. We brought home the skeleton, and like we sectioned it up and we boiled it to get all the like extra cartilage and stuff off the bones, so that we could
nice,
keep it
clean bones.
And so she comes home and there's like this pot full of like raccoon viscera on the stove.
But mom, I had to cook the meat off the bones.
But it was for science. It was out of scientific curiosity.
You know what my mom would have done?
Chased...
This is what my mom would have done, right? If we would have done that, which none of us, weirdly enough, none of us ever did that.
Yeah.
But if we ever did, she totally would have said, no, watch. This is how you do it. Adjust the flame to this, and you need a little bit more water. You know, like she would have helped us do the experiment. My mom was a scientist at heart.
Didn't want anything to do with that.
Oh, no, she loved science, anything. If we had any questions, she'd go, "Oh, what are you doing?" Okay, well, hey, if you
the only thing that my mom ever wanted from us was for us to be quiet.
Really?
And we weren't that.
My mom was not like that. She was like, we were loud all the fucking time. She took it so well. I would have been crazy. I think that's the reason today why I can't take a lot of noises in my house. Like I need that peace and quiet when I'm not working. I need things to be calm and happy, right?
Yeah.
For my insanity. So I just can't take all that noise and shit.
Yeah.
No, we caught the frogs and the salamanders and the snakes. The snakes didn't please my mom, nor did the tarantulas, but she seemed to be okay.
Grass snake.
Yeah, exactly. And the hognose, the baby hognose that I found.
It was fine.
The fresh hatchling
hognose.
You can
ask Pixie, next time you talk to Richard, ask him about which he's streaming right now. If you want to jump over there, you won't offend me. You should ask him about the snakes that he would string up in the garage and skin and dry out the skins.
Ooh, will do.
Oh,
He was a handy fucker.
we never did that. If we ever brought home any, like we either brought it home already dead, or
Right.
it was still alive.
Yeah, no, we had to
didn't
keep
kill
them alive.
anything.
We had to keep them alive, especially the frogs and the turtles, because I lived in a small town and we had nothing to do. And yes, on the 4th of July, you would take your frogs, you would take your turtles, and you'd have your own special mark with your own special color, and they raced.
So they don't do that here, but they have the duck race on the canal.
I
You buy,
miss
like,
my
a rubber
pet
ducky?
duck.
But no, we would do the most dangerous animal we probably ever brought home was a big old snapping turtle. It was like this big.
Mine was probably the wolf.
You brought home a wolf?
Well, technically she was my godmother's, and I was
Oh, okay.
pet sitting for a while. But like,
Okay.
she was from the wildlife refuge, but she couldn't be
Probably.
released. Like she just she couldn't be released after her rehabilitation, so she stayed, and she was fine. You just didn't want your neck close to her while she was eating. And then Lucky was half coyote, half German Shepherd. He was pretty cool.
So
We had the coolest German Shepherd growing up.
Hellbound Hillbilly, Mom would have
Like
made
the
me buy a new
best
pot. To my
dog in the world.
recollection, we kept that in a cooking pot. And I remember
won't-
using it afterwards.
At first, I thought, you know what, that makes sense. Make the kid buy a new pot. And then I thought, well, my mom was always she loved science. Anything science we wanted to do, she was all for. So she probably would have bought a new pot. And then I thought, no, I'm wrong again, because we never would have.
keep it.
No, we never would have used her cooking pots for that shit.
Oh.
That's the difference. We would have
Oh.
went out to the shed and found an old shit pot that nobody cared about, because if we would have used one of mom's cooking pots off of your head, right?
We didn't have
So we
like,
never would have touched her pots.
Well, like we lived in apartments mostly, so like we just had what was in the house, but
Right.
but like we didn't ruin it. Like it's just meat. We cleaned it and it was fine.
Was the raccoon fresh when you threw it in the pot?
No, it had like most flesh
see
taken off
now.
already.
No, that's some bacteria
So-
you just can't get rid of, my friend.
If you
When
boil
I
it,
had-
there's
I don't know
no
what's
more
wrong with you.
bacteria.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. I was a perfect child. I never got into trouble.
Oh, whatever.
I never was suspended. I was
You've
never got
always been a
detentions.
troublemaker.
See, now I never got detention or suspended or anything like that, but only because my teachers loved me, because there were a couple of times I probably should have been.
I want to find out if this is a surprising fact to you or not. I was expelled in the 7th grade.
Well, I don't think I would have believed it before, but I do now.
Maybe.
After all you've been telling
Yeah.
us.
After all this
Raccoon
shit we've heard about
did it for
you, yeah, the first time we met you, we wouldn't have believed it. Now we believe it. Yes, go
I'm
ahead.
kind of wondering why you weren't executed by.
Have you
I'm
ever
not
known
that
some?
bad.
Have you
No,
ever
I
known
got,
someone with this? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was being bullied by a group of siblings that lived in my neighborhood, and it like ended up at school, and like other people started bullying me because this one group of kids was always on my ass, and I became like a target for like everybody's damage. And so I eventually confronted the kid and put the fear of God into him that he would never touch me again. And he apparently his like great aunt or somebody was on the school board, and I was immediately expelled. I didn't touch him. I just got in his face.
See,
like,
that's
"Never
crazy
touch
to
me
me.
again."
See, that's
crazy to
bullshit.
me. Because I have
You
done
straight up
so
put a
many
bully.
things. For example, like I had a really good friend, and we were weird kids because I had a pet duck, okay? And my duck was potty trained, and he did tricks, and I never clipped his wings. He just always came home. He was a great duck. And
Aw.
she had a spider monkey that was friends
Mhm.
with my duck.
Yeah.
Although that spider monkey could be really mean. He liked to hide up on the top of the cage when somebody went to feed him, and then he would throw coconuts at their head and laugh. But
Yeah,
anyway,
they're mischievous. They really
Yeah,
are. Spider
yeah,
monkeys.
he was,
I've seen
but-
them in the wild.
but he was great
They
friends
are
with my
just
duck.
naturally like that.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
cool.
so like, and she had been bullied a lot, and I just was like always sticking up for her. And there was so many times I should have been in trouble. Like I should have been expelled. I remember the principal telling me straight out, "Trouble, what am I gonna do with you?" And I was like, "Nothing." And she was like, "You're right. I'm gonna walk away. I didn't see this. Be done when I come back."
Yeah.
like I had, the only teacher that didn't like me was a teacher I never had for class,
Yeah.
and the principal told him off for me, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But like I was the kid, like I should have been in more trouble. Like I remember telling my teacher F you one time because I was so mad at him. He told me like he needed me to be quiet, and I was like, F you, what if I don't want to look at you? Or he's like, I need you to be quiet and look up here. And I said, F you, what if I don't want to look at you right now? And he knew I was pissed at him. And he
You
goes,
said the
then,
whole fuck you?
yeah. I said,
Oh,
fuck
nice.
you. What if I don't want to look at you right now? And he said, well, then I need you to not do it quietly. So I slammed my notebook on the desk and I ripped the paper out real loud and proceeded to pass notes for the rest of class because I was really angry at him.
Yeah.
I also proved my teachers wrong a lot, particularly my history teachers.
Oh, no.
I told one girl in front of the teacher after this jock had come in, and like this kid had polio, and so he had crutches, and he was turning a corner and his crutch accidentally caught this jock's desk, and the jock wasn't even sitting there, but his book fell off and he got all mad. It was like yelling at this kid to pick up his book, and I was like, don't do it. And the kid looks at me and he looks at the guy and he picks up the book and puts it on his desk and sits down, and I was like, why'd you do that? So I just went over there and kicked the whole desk over.
Nice.
And I was like, go fetch. Like, he was not happy. And so this girl had said something because I was wearing black that day, and she was in a cowboy up shirt, which was like a big mistake because she says, what are you supposed to be, a Kiss fan? And the teacher walks in right as she says that.
Uh-huh.
So the teacher is standing right there as I just turn around and respond to her. And my response is, first of all, how do you get Gene Simmons with his tongue sticking out from a Chinese dragon? And second of all, what are you supposed to be, the ranch house whore or a common slut looking for a little bit of flair?
Ouch.
Still didn't get in trouble. I was asked to take a seat, though.
I think probably like the most outrageous thing that I ever got away with,
You're
and
a
I think
little
I've probably
shit.
told this story before too. But one day
I like
in high
it.
school, one of my friends decided he was going to grab my ass and play it off like it was a joke, and I literally beat his ass on 2 levels of that school. And pretty much everybody involved, like that personally witnessed what led up to it, were like, oh yeah, he deserved that shit. And then he decided, oh, I deserved that shit. And so he kind of just took his lump so I didn't get in trouble. But we literally had a fist fight from the student center downstairs all the way. And I chased his ass upstairs when he ran from me. And I beat his ass upstairs too.
The
I think the worst
closest
thing
I
I
ever
ever did-
came, the closest I ever came to getting in trouble in high school was when I had this teacher in, it was called Contemporary World Affairs class. One of these classes that they only pick the smartest kids in the school to go to.
Oh yeah.
And she was pissing me off because people were cutting up in the class, and it wasn't me. It wasn't me, even though it usually was. It wasn't me. And she kept turning around and blaming me and, getting me in. I'm getting in trouble for all these other people fucking around. And I finally just said, Miss Wolf, go to hell. And she's like, this is early 70s.
You're like,
nobody
it wasn't
talked like
me.
that to adults.
Did she clutch her pearls and everything?
Well, she hauls me out in the hall and says, Morgan, what's going on with you? What's that all about? And I explained to her, I said, you've been hitting on me for all this shit, and it's not me, and you're just not paying attention. Don't blame me.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and said, all right, get back in there.
Like, I didn't do. I've had that happen to me before. Oh, you know what else has happened to me too? Because every time I went to a school, it's a school that my brothers had already been through. The teachers had already seen my brothers, and most of them had seen, my sisters and my brothers, and then me. So here I walk in the door, number 6, and they're like, "Oh, another Madsen." Anything that went wrong near me, they'd be like, "Did you do that, Madsen?" What the fuck, man? Like, I was labeled. I was pre-labeled, and it wasn't even Richard, even though he went right before me. It was the one that's 1 year older than him. Yeah. He caused so much trouble that Richard and I had to pay for it.
So
there's times they tried to go after him, and he's like, "No, you got the wrong brother. I didn't do that." It's the other one.
They quickly realized none of us siblings even had anywhere close
Yeah.
to the same personality. But I had to be
Yeah.
careful with the English teachers because me and my big sister had a deal going for a while. She would do my math homework and I would write her English essays, but I would
Yeah.
have them the year later. And so I would have to write all my English essays in a totally different tone from a totally different perspective, hoping nobody would notice that I wrote all my sister's essays the year before. But I think the two worst things I did that I almost got in trouble for was I told a teacher that who implied that I was lying when I wasn't, which angered me. And so, plus he had grabbed me by the arm, and that did not make me very happy.
No, that's assault.
So I had told him, I literally told him, fuck you, I'm leaving. And I started walking home, and he was like, where are you going? And I said, I thought I already told you where I'm going. And he said, I thought I told you to go to the office. And I said, I thought I told you. I don't give a shit. I have a daddy and I don't need another.
Ooh.
And so that, and then the time I accidentally pierced the kid's ear with my locker door. I meant to hurt him. I just didn't mean to pierce his ear, but he was gropey.
Oh, well, in that case, so
bitch, I told you no.
on siblings,
I don't blame you. Fuck it.
Little known fact, my gender confusion started in 6th grade when the gym teacher that had my brother 2 years before me decided to call me by my brother's name for the entire year. Yep.
That's not cool.
I think it's so disrespectful when a teacher doesn't learn your name. For example, I don't think my kid's name is very hard. It is 5 letters. Yes, people mispronounce it all the time. But once she says her name to you, it's not that hard to get. It's really not.
Well, he knew my name.
She like, this teacher couldn't get it to the point that after having my kid for a year and a half, straight up said, you're just A now.
No, that's not okay.
Excuse me? If she has to
if
learn
the
your
kid
name,
says, I
you
want to
need
be
to learn
called
her
that.
name.
Yeah. No.
That's not okay.
Not cool. That's not
No.
That's when you tell your kids, start calling your teacher by their first name.
No, I asked her what the first letter of her last name was, and I said, don't even call her Mrs. anymore. You just walk in and say, hey, B, or hey, M, or whatever it was, and just leave it at that.
Touche. What are you going to do?
Yep.
You started it, bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? No, people are just assholes. Speaking of, I have to say something about this because I got a break here. We did things that should have required a stunt person stand in. Same HS. I don't know if you're still there.
Yes, jumping railroad tracks.
We used to. This is great. So this one year, the fall came kind of early, and all the leaves fell off the tree like at once. And so my mom was like, rake the front yard because it was full. I mean, it was full of leaves. So we raked the whole thing up, and she was like, rake it around the side of the house. So we raked it over there, and we kind of pushed up against the house. And then we did this. We looked up. We have this huge pile of leaves on the ground. And we look up, and the next story up is our bedroom, and there's a door right there we can open. And we're like, hey, let's jump out of the window into the leaves. We did it a lot. We all lived. I don't know how. No one got hurt.
Oh my gosh.
It was a pretty formidable pile of leaves, but
we were jumping off the roof onto a trampoline and into a pool.
The second story.
Oh, okay. No, me and my friends. That's how I broke my wrist the first time. I went over the pool instead of in the pool about the third time down.
When
I jumped too far.
My mom worked.
Yeah.
And she wasn't at home, so I would get home and I would make dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
I was a good kid. I told you.
Yeah, it must have been.
My kid's a good kid, but she's an only child. She doesn't have any siblings coercing her into stuff. She's just a good kid. She's a really good student. And she's a really, really good kid. I mean, she's a little mouthy and headstrong, but what teenager is it, right? She's 16.
And what child of yours wouldn't be?
Exactly. She's my kid.
Just you're kind of mouthy and headstrong, and that's why we like you.
But,
I feel like, all things considered, I was a pretty good kid.
Yeah.
I was up to my eyeballs in trauma, So I think I did pretty good for myself.
Exactly.
Hell no,
I
I
had
was
that
pretty
talk with
fucked
my
up
sister
kid.
the other day, because as much as I love my parents and as much as they did the best they could, it was chaos, and I don't think any of us escaped without some level of trauma we had to work through.
Your parents were
And
hippies, right?
mine?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. My mom is more like the flower child, right? She's got the hippie aspect, but definitely the non-rebellious preacher's kid. She left that to her brothers.
Right.
My dad, he became a hippie. He became a hippie, but my dad was actually a badass. He was a Marine sniper. He was an MP, and he was on the rescue teams.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, he was a badass.
I was just
Yeah.
wondering because from just what you're telling us about your life tonight, it sounds like your parents are about my age, maybe a little younger.
My father was just turned 64 when we lost him a few years ago. I think my mom is 63 or 64 now.
Yeah, just a little younger. No big deal.
Sorry about your loss. That sucks.
Yeah.
Thank you. He was my best friend. That was a lot of grief. Still is some days.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, I was never close with my father, but my mom died when I was 18, so it kind of fucked up my entire life. So I can I know what grief is. Yeah. Fucked me up pretty good. So.
I definitely get
Anyways.
the defiance from my dad.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I was just born angry. Like, seriously.
That's true.
Just like angry all the time. It's horrible. I could be angry like that if I let it.
I got cynical was my thing. I just got really cynical, I think, because not necessarily for times that I was angry, but for times when I couldn't understand why everybody else wasn't angry.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that happens to me that happened to me at work where I just lost my job. Nobody else cared, and I was like, these things are being done wrong all the time. Why does nobody care about that?
It's
right. Or like
if one person is fucking up everything, and we're just gonna go, it's okay, it's fine. Because me and the girl that was doing her job, we had to pick up all the slack. So yeah, it's fine to you.
Yeah. Or
pay me more money if I'm gonna do more of someone else's job. Pay me more money.
Or like, I never tended to stick up for myself, right? Like, I didn't care what people said about me. I'd laugh at it. I'd make a joke of it. I didn't care. But I really didn't like somebody else being picked on, especially if they were being ganged up on, and especially if I thought they were the underdog. They were the weaker link in the situation. Like, it would really bother me. And I would get angry and I would lash out and I would make sure it didn't happen again. But I never could understand, like, why aren't more people angry about this? Why?
Yeah.
Like, why does it not, like, things like that? And just even on a bigger scale in the world, like, it just makes me cynical sometimes.
No, it makes me the same way. And Richard and I were talking about this a few years back. I don't remember how long ago it was, maybe like 10, 13 years ago or something. And I was telling him, I said, I don't understand people. Like, they make me angry when I have to work with them and stuff because, they do things half-ass, or they're slow on purpose and they don't really want to work, or they're doing this or we're doing that, blah, blah. Or there's this person out in public and they're doing this and that. And it's just all this stuff irritates me, And he said, well, you're setting yourself up for a fall, don't you? And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, you're expecting everybody to be like you. And that's not going to happen, B. Yeah. And I was like, am I really?
I'm gonna head out of here.
All right, Jenny, I love you.
Good night.
It was so good to actually talk to you for the first time, Jenny. Later days, beautiful.
I enjoyed it too. I'm gonna dream of your voice tonight. It's so all right.
Night, sweetheart.
I think an important component of dealing with anger issues, and like I have anger issues, so that's what I'm speaking from. I'm not talking about anybody else. Is that you have to acknowledge that a lot of the time the sources of your anger are legitimate, because a lot of the conventional wisdom wants to tell you that your anger is, it comes from nothing. It's like a systemic issue, but it's not. Your response to whatever it is may be disproportional or proportional, depending on, whatever it is. But there's stuff that pisses me off all the time. And I can't do anything about the fact that it pisses me off. The only thing that I can control is how I deal with being pissed off. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
But I
will
think
say
it's
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one piece of advice that I got that I wouldn't say helps me manage my cynicism or my grr, but it helps me keep it in, like, it helps me, like, I don't know how to explain it, taper it back a little bit, I guess.
Tamp it down.
Is the phrase expectations are premeditated resentments.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that. So I have like a whole complex about, like, similar to what you were talking about, being
I
held
love
back,
that.
because
Yeah.
I have a lot in my life that's holding me back, like the way that my childhood was and how badly it fucked me up both physically and mentally, and dealing with PTSD and dealing with being trans in a society where being trans is not okay, and all this other stuff. So I feel like there's this constant weight on me preventing me from being at my max potential. And so every inconvenience that I encounter in life that I feel like slows me down makes me explosively angry. Because I'm already angry at all of these other things that are holding me back.
Yes. And it's like the straw on the camel.
Yeah, exactly.
And see,
so,
that's I can't relate to that. I can't relate to that part, unfortunately. I mean, but I do get angry that it seems like a lot of people have a problem with anybody just being happy with themselves and with life and with who they are. And so while I'm not trans and I can't relate to the struggle of worrying about how the world views me,
that's the only issue I don't have.
Yeah.
It does anger me that they, because my friends, I have a lot of friends in that community, right? And I have to see what my friends go through, and it really angers me that people just can't, like, even if you don't like it, just mind your own fucking business, just go be happy over there and leave my friend alone.
That's exactly all you have to do. Isn't that amazing?
It just angers me that people can't grasp this and that not enough people say this. Go mind your business and leave them alone.
Well, it's like I tell people all the time on these streams, Pixie. I always tell people, the people that are in our community that are here and being supportive, that cishet group of people are the biggest advocates that we have. You guys are, because people listen to the people that are like them. Yeah. So if you're white and cishet, the guy that's a racist who's white and cishet is more likely to listen to you than anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I'm white enough that people don't question my whiteness. So there's that.
Right. Yeah, me too. I mean, look, I'm really fucking white. I stand up all the time and say shit. As a matter of fact, I'll brag about something. I was at the motor vehicles department, DMV, most places, MVD here. And waiting in line, got checked in, sat down, waited in line. This guy's in front of me. I'd seen him somewhere before and I couldn't remember where. And it was just like, I was like, I know that guy from somewhere. And then I realized he's being an asshole to the girl at the register. Let me describe him real quick. He's about 6'4", white guy, white hair, white mustache and goatee and stuff. I think maybe he might have had a beard. I don't remember. But I definitely mustache and goatee.
Yeah.
Weighs about 300-ish pounds, right? He's wearing like sandals and those casual tan I'm a rich guy shorts, right? The shirt to match, okay. Anyways, so he looks like he should be golfing, but he's wearing sandals.
Right.
Anyways, so and he's up at the front and I realize he's kind of talking shitty to this woman. And I look at him and I look behind the counter. Everybody behind the counter, because they have to be bilingual. Everybody behind the counter it's a bunch of one guy and a bunch of women, and they're all of some form of like Mexican, Hispanic descent. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I look at this girl and she's like 22, 23. She's tiny, she's short, she's very sweet. And she's speaking quietly and being polite. And I can read her lips a little bit to know she's like, yes, sir. I can see that she's saying sir and she's being respectful. And I hear him. Bitchy, bitch. She's bitching about everything she does. Oh, I gotta do this. Well, what if I gotta do that? Well, now I'm not gonna have a title. What do I do? And he's just bitching and going on and on and on. So finally, he goes to walk out, and I'm sitting there. And right before he turns around to walk out, I look around me, and there's like one white person all the way down there, and all the rest of the seats are filled with someone of Mexican and / Hispanic descent. Now they're watching this too, because you have nothing else to do but watch what's in front of you. Everybody sees what's going on at the counter. You're waiting your turn. So I said, he turns around, he goes, good luck. And I said, oh, come on, man. It wasn't that bad. And he goes, yeah, it was. And I said, no, see, the problem here is you need to check your white privilege at the door. And he just looked at me. And I said, you heard me. And he turned around and he walked out and didn't say a fucking word. He walked fast.
Yay.
And after that, all the people around me that were looking at me funny before because their kid was getting too close to me started talking to me. Because they realize I'm an advocate for them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking everybody else to do the same thing.
We have this problem at work where like the upper management makes no effort to talk to the Spanish speaking staff at all. Because this is a kitchen. And like, you know, many kitchens around the United States, the bulk of the staff are Hispanic. And so we have, and like,
it's something they can do and get paid well without some kind of a certification or college. Yes.
Yeah. And so like we have people from all over the place. Like we have people from El Salvador, we have people from Mexico, we have people from Guatemala. Like they're not all from the same region even, but like, it doesn't really matter to the upper management. The upper management, they only delegate to a white person every time they need to communicate something. And so I noticed when I first came on that like some of the staff were cagey around me because, you know, I'm a white person and white people tend to get treated more favorably in this environment, it seems like. But then like I do stuff like I'm learning Spanish in my spare time. And I'm like, we have all these like cheat sheet charts in the kitchen that have all the names for different pieces of equipment and for different common verbs like to wash, to clean, to go, you know, that kind of shit. And so I'm learning all this stuff. And then when I'm really, really stuck for something, I'll pull out my fucking phone and I'll go, hey, Google, you know, how do you say blah, blah, blah in Espanol?
In Spanish. And it'll tell you, yeah.
Like, and then like talk to people and learn their names and use their names like I would with any other fucking person because it's just being fucking
you're so
polite.
Sweet. I love you, Larry.
It shouldn't be special though. It's
you're
just
right. It should be
polite.
like that, but it's not. And you're uncommon,
so like,
and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what else?
Spread that shit. Make other people uncommon too.
Go ahead, Pixie. You said.
You know what else we should be doing?
Yeah.
I think from the time a child enters preschool, they should be learning sign language. While they learn their colors, while they learn their alphabet, while they learn the vocabulary, they should just be incorporating sign language. It actually helps them learn it better. And it keeps an entire portion of the population from being ostracized, right? So I am actually learning sign language with my super munchkin.
Yeah, I would have actually liked that to be like an optional course when like we have our world language, right? For the diploma that I had to get, you had to have so many credits of world language, but ASL was not one of the options. And I wish that it had been.
It is now here, but I think it should just be like a thing that everybody starts learning in preschool.
Yeah.
You know what I just found out, you guys?
That's pretty common. Like my sister, when she was in elementary school, they learned Chinese.
Nice.
And so, like, I mean, if we can teach kids Chinese, like, surely we can do ASL.
Well, ASL will actually help them. We've actually learned that it will help them with learning to spell. It'll help them with memorizing the words and the alphabet because most people are kinesthetic learners. They're hands-on. So when you're assigning emotion to the word, they're going to remember both better.
Yeah. I remember, does anybody remember like the PBS commercial that would play like in between episodes of fucking Dragon Tales or whatever? A, B, C, D, E.
I'm not that
and that's
young.
literally how I know
child.
Like 15 signs in the alphabet and that's all I've got.
It did not happen when I was
all
a child.
From PBS.
Well, you know what? If you struggle, especially as an adult, if you struggle learning a second language, A piece of advice I can give you, because it is working for me, is, well, Spanish I've mostly forgotten, and I need to relearn, because I spoke more Castilian than what's local anyway. But
Okay.
I'm also refreshing my Cherokee, right?
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so when I get stuck, I remember it better. Like
Yeah.
Super Munchkin was learning ASL. I'm refreshing my Cherokee.
Nice.
She wanted to learn Cherokee and I wanted to learn ASL, but we were both struggling, right? It has helped us both to assign
learn
the
it together.
Cherokee word to the sign, because
Oh,
I'll
nice.
remember the sign better and she'll remember the Cherokee word better if we partner them while we learn them.
Nice.
That's really cool.
And so
You're learning
if you
two things
learn,
at once.
yeah, so if you learn sign while you're learning a foreign language, it'll help you remember both.
I usually
And there are people out there that speak Cherokee, or should, that are deaf.
I have a
So
really
that's
easy
awesome.
time. I have an easy time with romantic languages because I took French for 6 years and I took Latin for 2 years and I took a bunch of other fucking languages for, 1 year teaser courses and stuff like that. But I'm having trouble at work with the Spanish because, like I said, we have people from all these different regions. And like Spanish in El Salvador is not necessarily the same as Spanish in Mexico. And they have like different colloquial sayings for different things. And so that I'm trying to get my brain around because that's a lot of information.
I know. I love that too, Sammy. That's great.
She has
Super
been
Munchkin.
she's been Super Munchkin since she was, I don't know, like 6 months old. It just never went away.
You know, Ox, I never get to see your icon that big where I can really look at it. Dude, that's beautiful. That's awesome, man. I had no idea you had it like that. I couldn't see all that.
Learn the
It's too
tough words
tiny.
that fill in around him.
Yeah, that's what HH said. I laughed at that one. That was great.
And when she starts,
it's easy to learn. It's fun to learn the cuss words.
Do you want to know the fun thing about French? The word for spoon is like just a vowel inflection away from being the word testicle.
That's hilarious.
So it's like,
I mean, it's kind of shaped anyways. Go ahead.
It's not. I mean, well, okay.
They're both kind of oval-ish.
If your testicles are concave, please see a doctor.
I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot of languages, but I know bits and pieces of different languages because I'm blessed to have friends from all over the world, And so, which reminds me, when Super Munchkin, when she starts slacking, I start changing her Google Chrome password and then leaving it printed. And when she throws it away and she no longer needs it, I change it on her. Anyway.
Oh wow.
So the first thing that struck me about German in particular was that they don't like to make up new words for things. They just like to combine previously existing words. Yeah. So like the word for glove literally translates to hand shoe.
Yep.
And then water.
And then they'll compound words like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, or the word water, how similar water is through several different languages. For example, like in Cherokee, it's ama. In Romanian, it's apa. In Spanish, it's agua. And like you can go through like several different languages like that.
Really interesting.
Yep.
And if you want to say fire in Cherokee, you just take the m from ama and turn it upside down.
What?
But my favorite words in Cherokee right now, just because I like the sound of them for some reason, is Ithluga and Agietsu.
Okay. What do they mean?
Which is Agietsa is awake, and Ithluga is tree.
Okay.
Ithluga. Huh. Cool.
I've forgotten more words in foreign languages than I probably know in English.
I'm having trouble remembering those right now. I'm so ADHD. It's so hard for me to learn shit. I'm horrible. There's too many A's in that, Ox. A middle A should be a Just because I'm a fucking grammar Nazi. Sorry, bro.
Oh, so
and I know you type too fast and don't pay attention. I get it.
420 atheist. So at least the way that my French teacher pronounced it, the word for testicle is cuisse, and then spoon is cuillère.
That's really close together. Not seeing the testicle. I'm glad you're not seeing the testicle, Sammy. Good for you.
I don't want to
I
see
mean, unless you're
anybody's
sad
testicles.
about that, then that's fine too.
That's a hard limit. No testicles.
Also,
No
to be fair, Sammy, Super Munchkin still fits because bless her little heart, I don't think she's going to be much taller than me at all. I think she's going to be around
Aw.
my size because even though she's slightly taller than I was at 16, she's still only, what, 4'9½"?
Oh God. Poor thing.
My
She is
mom's nickname for me growing up, for whatever fucking reason, was Lola, which is not particularly close to my birth name. But Lola, as in like the song, her name was Lola. She was a showgirl, which is very antithetical to her Christian beliefs.
I still wish my dad would have won the name war because then I'd have a more unique name. He wanted to name me Clouda.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My mom's dream was
What's that
to
mean?
have oh, so good.
Sorry. What's that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. He just wanted to name me Clouda.
Spell it for me.
Clouda.
Clouda, like a cloud.
Cloud with an A on the end.
Okay.
Yeah, he wanted
Interesting.
to.
Go
and-
ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
Which was weird because I always called him Dada instead of Dad.
Oh.
We were all gonna be named after Little House on the Prairie characters, and we got like 3 kids in before Dad put his foot down.
I may
more.
I may as well be named after a Little House on the Prairie character.
Yeah.
And people compared me to that character all
Yeah.
the time, and
Oh,
it angered
God.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it happened to me
I
too.
wanna
I got compared to Laura Ingalls all the fucking time.
Me too.
See, I don't want people to know my dead name, but it's now probably really obvious.
I have no idea.
Uh,
I have no idea.
but so my older brother Charles, my younger brother came within a hair's breadth of being named Almanzo.
Ooh. That's rough.
Yeah.
Almanzo. Never mind. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and that's when Dad intervened, and we got Mitchell Eugene.
I have an old
Good old
boring name.
Mitch.
I have an old boring name, and I always hated it until one day my godmother was talking to my mom. My first name comes from my godmother. My
Mhm.
middle name comes from my great-grandmother. And one day my godmother was talking to my mom, and I don't remember what had been going on, but clearly I had been mouthy or something.
Mhm.
Because my godmother looked at my mom and goes, "Yep, you named her right. She has my attitude and Mabel's dimples." My middle name was her middle name, so I didn't give away my middle name. That was her first name.
I had one of the 5 white women middle names. Does anybody want to guess which one? There's only 5 white women middle names.
There's
Okay?
more than that, but I'm gonna guess.
There's only 5.
I'm gonna guess Marie,
No,
Lynn.
it wasn't Marie. There's
Lynn.
Marie, Beth, Elizabeth. Shit.
Yeah.
Lynn is a common one.
I have a whole bit. I've forgotten half of it. Oh, Christine. I don't know. Anyway, it was Elizabeth.
Ugh.
That was
Which
mine.
one you pick?
I put mine in private chat.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna play that game. I'll play. Since it's just 3 of us in here. Okay. I'll give you my God-given name, and then I'll give you the name I chose.
See, old boring name, like I said.
Yeah. So my new middle name that I picked for myself is Oz. And yes, I know that that's really lame.
Nice. No, it's not. Actually, okay. I was gonna say you remind me of the person in my phone named Oz, because here's the weird thing about my
Really?
phone list. Yes, okay. Here's the weird thing about my phone list. If there's an actual name in my phone, it's somebody I know from work
Mm-hmm.
or somebody I know from my husband's family, right? Nobody
Yeah.
else has their actual name in my phone. If you scroll through my phone, it's like Ducky, Monkey,
Yeah.
QD, like it's everybody's nicknames, right? Vegas, like it's just all nicknames in my phone. You
Yeah.
remind me of Oz. Now, Oz earned that name, and the reason I call them Oz is
Mm-hmm.
because they're the person who I can go to have the craziest rabbit trail conversations. I mean, anything from science
Okay.
to politics to science fiction.
Yeah.
And it doesn't it we start off super serious, but it doesn't always end super serious. It can end in a lot of what if games and like all this crazy stuff. And that's how they got the name Oz. And like your personality, your temperament reminds me a lot of this person, so I think it's very fitting.
That's really cool. One of those symmetry things we were talking about earlier.
Oh, real quick, Larry, you don't.
Go ahead.
I gotta tell you because I'll forget.
Mhm.
You don't know because you haven't been around, but
Mhm.
I'm waiting for my Social Security card to come in,
Yeah.
and then my name's changed on everything except for my birth certificate.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Right? It's only like $300 so far.
That's not bad.
285. Really. Hi, Sammy.
Love that name, Beck.
I picked Oz
Thank you.
for a really stupid reason, and that's why I think it's a stupid middle name, but I love it and I will never part from it. Because I'm like super ADD, and I have picked up like thousands of hobbies in my life. So like everything from like cooking to woodworking to crochet to painting to like literally like everything. I'll just YouTube video it and I'll be like an amateur expert in like 9 hours. And so people like it became a running joke in my family. People would always ask me, how did you do this? How did you do that? Because I would just learn how to do it like that. And I'd just be like, I'm a wizard. And I just do that all the time. Like literally every time somebody asks me, how did you do this?
I'm so happy.
Like, I'm a wizard. So I decided I picked up the moniker, the Wizard of Oz.
I have to say it. So you're a wizard, laddie.
But that's great. My super munchkin was so obsessed with not the Wizard of Oz, but Wicked, right?
Mhm.
She loved Wicked. And we had these shirts. She made me get them. We had to get matching shirts. She had to have it. But we were the only two that understood it. And it drove me crazy because I thought like it was obvious. And nobody understood the reference. But it just had a rainbow and then it said, I'm over it.
I like it. I dig it. I'd buy that shirt.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
great.
gay and I'm over it. That would be a great fucking shirt.
What's new, Sammy?
I
Catch me
told
up.
recently that I'm not allowed to call myself gay because I'm technically bisexual.
I don't know what I am
That's where the
technically
B
anymore.
comes from under the umbrella. Tell them to shut up.
They keep changing what everything means, so I'm not sure where I am anymore. But back in my day, because I'm old, it would just be bi.
Well,
Still under the umbrella.
recently I've decided that I don't like any of them, so I think I'm queer. I'm just queer.
I like using that one because that one is like it's easy.
See,
Yeah.
It's the
super
I don't have
generalization
to give
one.
away everything about myself. So like when I'm having a conversation and that becomes a relevant piece of information, it's very easy to just throw, I'm queer. And then like,
So Super Munchkin says that there is now a difference between bi and pan, that if you don't care if somebody's androgynous or trans, you are pan instead of bi.
Yes.
Which is what I was
Well, then
previously
that's what I am.
labeling myself.
Okay.
Yeah. Is pan. But see, a lot of people say, what's that to me? And I say, well, I'm just queer. And they say, okay. and they know I just like everyone and everything.
It's a good catch-all if you don't feel like explaining your whole self to people who probably don't even care.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because see, it would freak out, like, it wouldn't freak me out, but people older than me, it would
Yeah.
freak them out, because when they hear the word pan, they automatically go to Greek mythology, which opens the door to bestiality, which is a whole different conversation you have to break down.
Personally, I think a good bacchanalia does a society good. Not like with goats, though.
I've had people ask me, is it something to do with Peter Pan and not wanting to grow up and getting down that track? And I'm like, no.
People just really, 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 really want to try to nail down gay men, especially as being pedophiles. And that just sounds like it comes out of that.
You know, the original Peter Pan was actually very dark. He wasn't some friendly little guy.
Correct.
He actually stole souls to take to Neverland, for one. His shadow did. The Lost Boys were not there by choice either.
Fun fact, the only way that I can cry anymore since being on testosterone is to watch the movie Finding Neverland.
Hey, you know what? What you do is you find someone, you fall in love with them, and then they're not really in love with you, and then they break up with you, and then they fire you. That'll do it.
Or
you know, that's
go my
awful,
route
Beck.
and grow up in a cult.
Which just happened to me.
Be emotionally stunted, and now I cry at fucking ads.
You know what? No, I will say
I'm emotionally stunted too for my mother dying when I was so young.
No, see, it's hard for me to cry. The one movie that's made me cry, like really made me cry, was probably The Green Mile. Aside from war movies, but that's a whole different kind of cry. That's because war movies really mess with my psyche. Like they really mess with my, like I hate everybody for days and days after. Like I just can't like that is the darkest thing to me. I can't handle it. I can watch horror movies all day long.
Yeah.
I can't. But my dad.
Horror movies are stupid.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But my dad, being like I said, he was a badass, right? Like my dad was a badass, a professional fighter, sniper, Marine, MP, on the rescue team. Like my dad was a badass, but he would cry in every movie, every little chick flick, just tears. And the older he got, the more he cried during the movies.
Yeah. Ox.
That's from being sentimental.
Ox asked if Peter Pan was a girl. The actor that played Peter Pan in the original stage play, they always picked a female actress because, smaller, skinnier, wouldn't have to worry about the actor going
easier to pick up and fly around with.
Well, and to keep the youthful look and the youthful voice.
No, that's right.
I think the worst I have ever ugly cried at a movie was when the first time that I ever saw The Dead Poets Society. And that'll tell you exactly what kind of nerd I am.
Oh, A Beautiful Mind made me cry too. My heart just broke for him.
Oh, I know, right? What a good movie that was, though. Oh my god. Hey, Pixie, have you ever watched Cloud Atlas?
I have not.
Oh, I cried when I watched.
Oh my god, you haven't seen that? Don't anybody say anything. Watch that movie, please.
Have you ever seen Memento?
It's kind of long, but it's really good.
It's very long. It's like 3+ hours.
The stars are Tom Hanks and Halle Berry, and they each play like 15 or 17 people in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I will watch. I will watch Cloud Atlas if you watch Memento. Memento is older. It's an older movie. I think it was released on VHS in like 2001 or something. Guy Pearce plays the lead character. Not many people know that is the movie that kicked off a trend a decade later. If it was not for Memento, movies like Butterfly Butterfly Effect, things like that would not exist. It's one of the first movies
I have a movies list
that starts at the end, goes backwards, and ends where it began, right? And I'm not going to give much away. Yeah, I'm not going to give too much away. It gets very dramatic, but it's also hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's also very, very, it's also dark. Once you put it together, it's pretty damn dark, but it was so well done.
I won't watch it right now, though. I'll wait a month or so.
I think that
I'm in a dark place. I don't need to be watching anything depressing right now.
Well, I wouldn't say it's depressing. It's one of those, oh, shit kind of things.
Justin's a big movie buff,
Watch
and
it
he has a
once.
list of like 8,000 classic films that I have to watch. So I'm sure that that's on it, but I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of movies. There's a huge gap in my pop culture knowledge.
I'm not going to give anything away that's not given away in the first 2 minutes of the movie. I will say pay
Mhm.
really, really close attention when I know Sammy's heard of it because remember Sammy Jenkins.
Mhm.
So I know Sammy's seen it, but really pay attention to the Sammy Jenkins story. But it's about a guy who something happens. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but something happens to where he can't make new memories, right?
Mhm.
Like he can only hold an attention span for so long before his mind just completely resets. But
Mhm.
he's also on a mission because of this incident. So he'll take like Polaroid pictures of people, places, write notes on it to help him like keep going.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound interesting.
But there's funny spots in there too that make it really light. Like one
You know-
spot where it doesn't give anything away, but like you see him running, you just see him running, and he's like all of a sudden his mind resets and he's like, what am I doing? And he looks over and he sees another guy running and he's like, oh, I'm chasing this guy. And then the guy like shoots and he's like, no, he's chasing me. And like
Yeah.
it's so as dramatic and as dark as it gets, there's like these moments of
funny
just
shit.
like really funny moments in there that break it up.
If you ever want like a video game that'll well, I guess it'll only fuck you up if you've experienced like certain mental illness symptoms. But if you have experienced certain mental illness symptoms, the game Inside, it's a pixelated horror game, will absolutely rip your guts out. Highly recommended. It's on Steam.
Lovely.
Noted.
Absolutely lovely.
Dead Poet Society is a favorite, but that scene in What Dreams May Come where they're telling the daughter about to euthanize her dog makes me bawl. See, animal stuff doesn't get me because I'm a soulless asshole, I guess.
That always got me, especially when I was little, like even in the Disney movies, like Bambi's mom, Littlefoot's mom, like all the moms axed. You know why though? Do you know why?
Mhm.
Because Walt Disney, when he finally became successful, he was so excited because he could buy his parents a house.
Mhm.
They ended up dying in a fire because of electrical fire in the house, and like he blamed himself. And so like being an orphan, like losing parents was a common theme in a lot of his Disney movies.
Mhm.
Oh, snap.
I lived in a very, very explicitly abusive household growing up. And it's really funny how like trauma will like numb you in certain ways, but then like make your emotions hypersensitive in other ways. And so
Yeah.
like there's stuff that doesn't affect me emotionally at all, even though it should. And then there's stuff that means nothing to other people, but can absolutely ruin my whole day. So like there's a lot of movies that like I don't have necessarily the appropriate emotional reaction, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I mean, I feel that way.
No, I do this. I do that, Gary.
Movies that bother other people don't really bother me, but most people can sit through a war movie, and I can't without just like breaking down.
I saw the movie Room. I don't know if if you guys have seen the movie Room. It's about a woman who was held hostage in like a shed for like 7 years, and the guy raped her, and they had a child together, and like that movie like literally sent me into an emotional spiral that left me unable to leave my house for weeks. That's how bad my reaction to that movie was.
Wow. See, I don't get triggered off of stuff on TV normally, like bad.
I don't normally either. Like that was
I'll
really
cry.
extreme.
I mean, I'll cry here and there, or I feel sad for the person, or if it's one of those really well written in like Pixar movies where they really have that music going with it, and you're just all into the movie, and you love that kid so much, and his dad's dying, and you know.
Or like Up was really good.
Oh, Up was great. I cried during Up.
Yeah.
I've watched Up like probably 4 to 6 times. I love Up.
So I don't know what it is about war movies though, because it's not necessarily the movie, right? It's not the script.
Right.
Because if you handed the exact same script to me, but you had a monster instead of an enemy, like it wouldn't bother me at all. I think it's because like not only
People
is it
call
the
it killing
darkest
people.
part of humanity, but well, that and like my dad, you know, like he would wake up screaming in Vietnamese, you know.
Yeah.
And even though I don't know a lot of his stories because a lot of it was classified, the parts that I do know, and don't get me wrong, some of the sniper missions were brutal, but actually a lot of the worst things, a lot of the worst images in my head and a lot of the worst stories my dad told me, in my opinion, actually came from being on the rescue team.
Yeah.
Those were the most heartbreaking, heart-wrenching stories. And
can
I don't
imagine.
know if it's because like I connect to that when I see it, but it really messes with my head.
Yeah. I think that like some of the best / worst horror movies are definitely the ones that they're not about anything like supernatural, no monsters, but the things that like really reveal the extent to which human beings can be fucked up. And like the extent to which we will happily hurt each other.
I think that maybe that's what it is. Horror is a safe way to deal with inhumanity for me because it's fictional, right? It's put on something fictional, and that makes it safe to view. But I guess confronting the reality of like the worst
real death
thing,
and real whatever,
right? And it all being real, like in humans, it just reminds me of how just inhumane and brutal we can be to each other, and that is hard for me to face.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, I know.
Okay, here's a rescue story mission, and I'm not going to tell the whole story because I don't want to give anything away, because my dad was very careful about what he said, because even on his deathbed, he was like, there are things that I can't say because I don't know how many of my team is still out there, and I don't want to get any of them in trouble, you know? Like, that kind of classified. But there was a rescue mission where he said they were on the choppers and they were getting ready to leave, and it was after he had already been shot. They're getting ready to leave, and he said the ramps were just full of people onto these helicopters and they couldn't take off, and the enemy's coming, and it came to a point where they were all going to die there, or they had to get who was already loaded out of there because they didn't have room for anybody else. But they couldn't get these people off the ramp, and his sergeant said, "Open fire." And my dad looked at him, and the sergeant repeated himself,
it's either
"Open
all
fire."
of you or just some of you.
Exactly. He said, "Open fire." And he said,
He had
to
to
this
shoot
day,
his own guys.
well, no, he said, to this day, I don't know if I hit moms. I don't know if I hit babies. I don't know who I hit, but we had to get out of there. And it was stories like that, I think, that broke me. And bless his heart, he was telling me these because I was one signature away from joining. And he was like, "Please don't do this. Please don't do this."
Yeah.
He's like, "I know you, and you cannot do this." And so that's why he started telling me those stories. But like, I can't, after things like that, and watching my dad break down, the big tough guy, you know, like it just messes with me in a whole new way.
Yeah. Some of the worst things that I've ever experienced in my life happened in institutions that were explicitly designed to help me. And that's one of those realities that is very, very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. Reminds me of Master Sergeant Jim Hall on Atheist Edge. You ever talk to him, Pixie? Jim Hall from Atheist Edge. You should talk to him sometime. He's a good guy. Smart guy, retired Marine, gunny sergeant. No, Master Sergeant, rather. He's seen lots of shit. He's been around. He's trying to go over there right now to help rescue people.
You know, I have mad respect for anybody who can do, because after those stories, I realized my dad was right. That is not something I could handle and be mentally okay. I just couldn't.
Right.
I have an immense amount of respect for people who can look that in the eye and keep going.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like,
Like Jim's like has this magnetic draw in him to go help. He's like, I have to go, man. I know I can
yeah,
make a difference. I have to go. I know I can help those people.
and bless
And
and
he's
bless
bugging
them.
the shit out of everybody every day. He's like, I'm scared and I'm afraid I won't come back, but fuck it. I want to go help people. And he's like, I want to go to Ukraine. I want to help people, get people out of there. That's what I want to do. I don't give a shit. He's bugging all the big agencies to
Yeah.
pay to get him over there and stuff. And he's like, I'll buy my own armor. Fuck it. It's going to cost a lot of money, but fuck it. I'll buy my own gear. Just get me over there. Get me over there and let me have a gun when I get there just to protect me.
That's how my dad.
He's like, I'll go save people. Yeah,
That's
he
how
wants
my
to go
dad
so
was.
bad. And I mean, I was in the army, but I never saw any combat. I never did anything interesting. I went in the National Guard and I worked for them for a while at a fucking army base and just had like a cake fucking job. So I don't know anything about it. Now Richard was
Well,
over there during Desert Storm and Desert Shield.
see, thank goodness my
he
dad
saw
talked me
some
out of
shit.
it because I graduated in 2003.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I would have been like, they were either going to make me a linguist, which wouldn't have been fun because they wanted me to learn Farsi for a reason.
Mhm.
Or they wanted me to be a strategist, which still wouldn't have been fun because then I'd have nightmares about which buildings I was blowing up or telling
Yeah.
other people to blow up.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Fuck that. I was originally, when I first went in the military, I was in an engineering unit, and I went to go to basic training, and my mother died, and then I went to basic training, delayed 2 months, and took all my anger and put it into the army, basically, and I channeled it properly, and I was very quiet. And ow, that cat just scratched the shit out of my leg. Anyways, I was very quiet and I was very angry, but I had nobody to blame but myself, so I was pissed at myself and everybody. I was just pissed at the world. Everything made me mad. And so I went in the military and I just like gun-hoed, like beat ass. They kept asking me to be the platoon leader and I kept refusing it, and they were like, well, please, come on, we know you can do this, you blah blah blah, you'd be perfect for this. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I just want to fucking just do my own thing. I don't worry about anybody else. And then finally I told them why, and then sat in the drill sergeant's office and like cried. He was really nice, man. He was my rock. Yep.
My goodness, Major Grey Wolf. My dad,
Drill Sergeant Owsley, I'll never forget that guy, man. He was
Major
fucking awesome.
Grey Wolf's
Big
comment.
ass,
My dad,
big, tall, mean looking black dude who had a big heart of gold. So he was.
that's
Nicest
great.
guy I ever met in my life. Yeah. Anyways, point is that I left where I lived and moved to Florida. And when I left, 2 weeks after I left, they fucking deployed my unit over there to build barracks. And I didn't get to go. And I was pissed. I really wanted to go. Because they were
My
just
dad,
engineering.
yeah, that's rough. And my dad told me stories like that, especially of like, because Nam, the kids that would get sent over strapped in explosives or, so when you're a sniper, you have a spotter that you go on every single mission with. You are paired with the same spotter, like that's your guy. But when you go, you're paired with another sniper and their spotter, right? So you have two snipers,
Right.
two spotters.
Right.
So your spotter, the one that goes on every mission with you, like that's a special kind of bond. Like that is your brother.
That's the dude that has your back, literally.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah.
And at one point, like the story of my dad when he went rogue is kind of terrifying. But they were out picking up some supplies and they weren't supposed to be out, and they kind of knew it, and they're driving, and my dad happened to see a gun in a car beside them, and he yelled, "Duck!" And my dad ducked, and his partner did not. And that messed with my dad. He went a little bit rogue for a little bit.
Oh.
Went and got some revenge before heading back. Like, I don't know. It was brutal.
He lost it. He lost it.
Yeah, he lost it for a minute.
The captain at work was a former sniper.
There's one thing I always think about before I do something. This is one thing that my mother's death taught me. Think about what you're going to do before you fucking do it. Think about what you're going to do before you do it. Because you have to live with whatever your action is for the rest of your life. That's it. If it turns out bad, you're me. You're fucked up and you're miserable most of the time, and you live your life in fight or flight mode, and you're angry a lot, and you get happy by helping people, and then you find somebody to help, and you find somebody to love, and then that person throws you aside and fires you, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a special kind of fucked up to me.
Just go ahead and just think before you do stuff. That's all.
Like, if you're gonna end
younger
something
out there,
I just don't understand that. Like, if you're gonna end something, that's enough all on its own. I don't understand the part that came after that.
I mean, I have PTSD issues, and I am very stressed out at work, and there's lots of tension there, and things aren't being done that are supposed to be being done. And it got to me, and after 7 to 8 months of dealing with all the bullshit, I fucking started popping off. And I know that I was the catalyst, but I wasn't really a catalyst.
Yeah.
I know I created a tense work environment and made people feel irritated and frustrated and all that stuff. And I'm not proud about that. I'm not proud of that at all, but it's just what I have to deal with. So, and to try to improve myself, I started going to therapy. One for my relationship, one for me, and one I figured, well, bonus, it'll help me out at work. I'll help me get through this shit. So I see this guy 3 times. The second time, she needs a break. The third time, she splits up with me. I miss 1 week seeing him because he had to go, he was somewhere. And I went and saw him today. And in just those few visits, I'm single and I'm jobless. It's like, he's just like looking at me like, what the fuck, bro? I mean, he literally said to me, you're just dealing with a lot of shit right now. That's what it is. And I said, yeah, Mike, I really fucking am. He's like, a lot of fucking shit. And I said, a lot of fucking shit, man. He's just honest. I fucking appreciate him for that. So he told me to take baby steps and be angry and it's okay, and cry if I want to, it's okay, and just get that shit out of my system. And I said, I'm already going numb, so I think I'm done with the most of the angry part, like 65-70% of it. I still have a big chunk there that's eating at me. But for the first time in my life, I want to do something about it. Instead of bending over and taking it where I shouldn't be over and over and over again, which keeps happening to me. Because I'm so afraid of hurting people or doing the wrong thing, or, I don't want to be that person that's some dickhead. And I'm to the point now in my life, I'm ready to be a dickhead a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
I don't. Good. I'm glad you are. I hit that in high school, I think, because I was like the ultra doormat. When I say ultra doormat, I mean the same people who were bullying me were the same people who would cry and tell me all their secrets and break down on the phone and get my advice and talk to me for hours, because they knew when we went back to school and they bullied me again, I wasn't going to say anything about anything. And then I got to a point where I was like, that's all right. Your secrets are safe, but you're not safe anymore, right? I am going to be the most brutal person you have come across. And I was. Nobody wanted to mess with me. I was small, but I earned my reputation. You did not want to fuck with me, especially verbally, but I could fight too, thanks to my dad. Yeah. He taught me well. And so
my brothers taught me. My dad was never active in my life, but I had gotten in a couple fights in school, and One kid popped me pretty good and gave me part of a black eye. And they were like, all right, you're going to fight and get in trouble. Come here. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? And they were like, come on, you're going to the basement. I'm going to teach you how to fucking fight. And they
So,
did.
like,
I was like,
Yeah.
fuck,
It-
I don't know, 12 years
And then-
old.
And then I was a really young mom, right? Like I had super munchkin. I went into labor on my 21st birthday and had her the next morning. So I was a super young mom. And it was about that time when I started learning to balance my doormat with my brutality.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I did an ADHD moment for a second, looked at the chat. You said you were how old when you had her?
I went into labor on my 21st birthday and had her the next morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so that's I think being a mom is what taught me how to balance my brutality with my doormat side.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. Honestly, it's not that, Ox. It has nothing to do with my identity. It has nothing to do with who I am. It has to do with the fact that I kept asking. This is my complaint. I kept asking over and over again for help. I asked my meds to be adjusted 3 times in the last couple of weeks. Nobody did anything about it. I told them I was going to therapy and it was really rough on me. Nobody paid attention. You know, all this shit built up all these months. And then she breaks up with me, and then I'm with my therapist, and I'm digging my fucking life apart, which is never goddamn easy. The first few months of therapy are the hardest part because you have to be honest and just spill your guts if you want any fucking results. So I tell them I'm going through this. I tell them I'm stressed out. I tell them, you know, I'm starting to smoke weed during the day because Adderall was roller coastering me too much, and it leveled me out a little bit, and it actually helped. And I tell them, and then nobody fucking listens, and nobody takes any action, and nobody does a goddamn thing about anything in that fucking place. So here I am months and months later with the fucking mental health issues I have. The fact that I made it that long before I blew up, that I made it like, what, fucking 10 months?
Mhm.
And the first time I blew up was because a doctor hit me, and now you want to fuck with me?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that live, but
Yeah.
let's just say action will be taken. And they asked me to resign, and I said in this job market and during a pandemic that might be calming down, but we're going to have another bump up of it. Everybody knows it's coming. Yeah. We're just taking a break. I would be a fool to walk away from my job.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want me there, you have to fire me.
Yeah.
And they were like, are you sure? Is that really what you want? And I'm like, you know, the fact that you're really trying to sell me to resign tells me I need you to fire me because it's the smartest thing for me. Yeah. So no, please fire me. I didn't say that. I just said, I'm not turning in my key or anything. I'm not quitting yet.
Yeah.
So if you want rid of me, fire me. And she's like, okay. And I said, I want termination paperwork with it. When I get that in my hand, I'll hand you the key.
I've made the mistake of quitting lots of jobs that I should have let people fire me from.
No, fuck that. I was always worried about it. What the fuck do I care?
Yeah.
I literally told them to fire me.
Yeah.
And if someone says, why did you get fired? I'm going to say, well, because they gave me an option. I wanted to try for unemployment. So I told them to fire me.
Yeah.
Why was there an issue? Because I have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get them under control, but I can't not work.
My problem has been that, like, in the past, I've been an obsessive people pleaser, and I've let people just continue to dump shit on me until I'm like always a little bit over the capacity of what I can handle with the PTSD. But like the more pressure put on me, like over time, I will just completely self-destruct. And I've let this pattern happen.
Bro.
Dozens of times.
Bro.
I am not a bad worker. I'm not incompetent. I am very motivated and detail orientated, and I am a very, very good worker. But yes. I allow these bosses to dump shit on me until I become overwhelmed and I explode.
Yeah.
And so that's the pattern that I'm trying to break.
that's part of what happened to me because Michelle wasn't taking action on things she should have noticed. And I would mention things and, hold on, I'm busy.
Yeah.
You should never be busy. You're the fucking office manager. You
Yeah.
say, hold on just a second, or come back to me in 5, or I'll come see you in a minute when I have a break. And then you go walk over to that person, you ask them what their beef is. Or the other good idea is to not take their comments and make it like they're your own, so you're actually fucking productive at your job when I fucking said it.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. It's also frustrating that I have to do all these fucking things. I'm sitting there thinking about it. You know what I just got an email about? I was trying to sell phones for them on my eBay so they wouldn't have to pay the company fee. Yeah, and I got an email with an offer. You think I'm fucking telling them? Nope. Keep the goddamn phones. You take care of them. You take care of selling the chairs. You take care of trying to buy exam tables.
Yeah.
You take care of the inventory. You take care of buying Botox. I guarantee you she's going to be out of Botox because she forgot to order it. Because guess who reminds her?
Yeah.
I do a lot of things around that fucking office that are extra that I shouldn't have to fucking do. So you don't want me there? Go ahead. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Catch up. Go make an account everywhere because I had the accounts to everything. Yeah. I'm the administrator on the unemployment account. Should I go apply now and approve it for myself? If that wasn't illegal, but
yeah. No, my only bit of schadenfreude I got after I left Walgreens, because Walgreens, it was very much the same situation where like
I'm not angry.
I was the only manager. I was only like shift manager that gave a shit about anything. And so all the people during the day would do fuck all. And then I would have to do like the resets and clean and take care of the pharmacy and take care of the stupid photo booth that always broke. And like, and like literally had to do fucking everything. Process orders that came in during the morning that should have been done by the morning staff.
And nobody did them, so you have to do them. Yep.
I finally, and like I had this manager who never worked a weekend in his entire fucking life, who had to cover my weekends after I quit. Because I was the only one that was working weekends. And I remember like walking by the Walgreens and seeing his car sitting there and being like, fuck you.
Hell, when CVS went to fire me, I said, let me see those papers. And they handed them to me and I folded them up and she was just looking at me with her head cocked. And I just started ripping them up like this. And she goes, I need those. And I said, tough shit. And I put it in my pocket and I said, suck my dick. And I walked out the door. I was just done, dude. I fucking exploded. Same thing. I had some girl there who kept fucking harassing me all the time. Just cussing at me and telling me to, and calling me a piece of shit and blah, blah. You're a waste of oxygen. And just constantly for 11 months. I took it for 11 months. And then finally I told her off and cussed her out. And they said, we're firing you. And I said, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me right now.
The reason that I quit Walgreens was that I had just started seeking treatment for my mental health issues, and I had recently gotten my PTSD diagnosis. And I told my boss that, you know, I was going to need a day off a week to go to this special clinic that they wanted me to go to. And after that, he immediately started treating me like shit. And like 2 weeks after I told him about my diagnosis, he ordered me to write an apology note to the other managers.
What?
For needing the time off and for looking sad all the time.
Hold on. Wait.
I'm not kidding. He was literally like,
what kind of asshole ridiculous fucking shit is that? I'm laughing because it's so absurd. Who even would say?
I have to imagine that this was an attempt to get me to quit because he just didn't want to deal with me needing 1 day off a week because he was working me 7 fucking days.
You know, I'm so glad.
My foot back in retail. I'll live off the fucking government.
Oh yeah.
I am so glad that that's one thing that seems to be changing in the generation after me, right?
Yeah.
Is because one thing about Americans is like it's so weird the dichotomy we have here, because if you're not working 2 jobs or you're not working 60 or 70 hours a week, people don't think you're working enough, right? Like you're some slacker. Now, for example, now this isn't all the time. I love my company. Most of the time I have a regular 40-hour work week. It's not a big deal. But here lately, I've been getting off at 11:30 at night. And right, like, and for a lot of people that's normal. Like that's just normal every day. They work that, and it's expected here.
Yeah.
And it's not that way in other countries, right? In other countries, not only do you have a normal work week, but you have a month of sick leave and a month of holiday paid vacation on top of that, right? Like in
Yeah.
America, we really do like work like slaves. It's crazy. We work ourselves to death here.
And there have been like
And I
there's been all
refuse to
these
fucking do
studies.
it.
There's been all these studies that like people are always asking, why are Americans overweight? Why do Americans have more heart health issues? Why do Americans have more blood pressure issues? And like all of these conditions, like
We don't
yes,
have time for activity.
we eat like shit because we're too tired to cook.
Because we're
We
always
don't
on the
sleep
go.
enough
Yep.
because we're working 14-hour days, and
Yep.
sleep is tied into literally every system that you have.
Yeah, and a lot of those jobs are sitting down in front of a desk, so you don't have time to go out and be active.
Yeah, and so like we're literally being like our lifespan is like 8 years shorter
Same.
than like the European average because
Exactly.
we are working ourselves to death.
And the younger people are not wanting to do this. They're like, no, I demand a work-life balance.
Yeah.
But then you have the boomers who are like, oh, y'all are just lazy. No.
But you know what?
They have a right to have a life.
You know, that's not even true, because like a lot of these boomers never worked the schedule that they're expecting people to work today. Because a lot of the boomers had unions.
I was gonna say, everybody had unions back then. Yeah, absolutely.
And they did it in a market where one person could support a family of 4 by working a steady job at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And still have the money to buy a house. We're not in that economy anymore either. I don't know.
Hillbilly is absolutely right though. Like literally, we are in a situation where like we can't get health care and we can't get preventative health care, and we work so much that we're injuring ourselves. They would literally would rather us just die than have to pay for health care.
And luckily, like I said, I work for a great place, and I don't have a lot of those worries except when I take on big projects. But that gets me promotions, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But a lot. But I'm lucky compared to most Americans. My husband has a job in the financial world. He's a finance manager, and you want to talk about some ridiculous hours.
Yeah.
Not even hourly paid either.
I've definitely noticed a difference in this job versus other jobs that I've worked, because every other job that I've worked has been for a big box corporate store, or for, in the case of FedEx, an international corporation. And you are a lump of meat with a number on it. This company that I'm working for now it is a singular location. We are a catering company. We have one, like our corporate headquarters is literally 3 blocks from the building where I go to work most days. And like our accounting manager is there, and I can talk to her if I need to. And like our whole company is maybe like 200 people or less. Yeah. And it's a much, much different environment than any job that I've ever worked before.
I think I'm lucky because mine's complete opposite. I now work for a company that was not even incorporated in the US originally. So it's a global company. We have offices in all kinds of countries, but it didn't even start out a US company. Like this wasn't even their first location. So I'm lucky there.
But I think for the type of work that it is, that it's labor, and labor isn't glamorous, but I'm not being abused. I'm treated respectfully by my managers. And even though like there's, inter-office issues, there's always inter-office issues, but like for the most part, like I don't get the same kind of, like when you're in retail, especially, everything in retail hammers into your brain how disposable you are as a person. And I'm not being made to feel that way at this job.
Or anywhere in the service industry, really.
Yeah.
That's a night switch.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the service industry will make you feel that way.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I will never go back to retail. If I can ever at all avoid it, I will literally like fuck every retail establishment in America. Ugh. But I probably have to be getting to bed. I've actually
I'm
stayed
done.
up quite past my bedtime.
It is good to
It was
talk
good
to you
conversation.
guys.
It was good to
Yeah,
talk to
Pixie,
you guys
you're
too.
always
It was
welcome
nice
back,
to meet
honey.
you.
Yeah.
You too. Good night
Seriously.
and sleep well and dream easy and later days and all that good stuff.
All right.
Okay,
bye, guys.
so everybody remember, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and have some peace in your life.